The Penguin is one of the biggest hits HBO Max has seen since The Last of Us. We are going to get into that. What does that mean? Are they going to continue on? There was already a series inside of the Matt Reeves universe that was canceled, and one of the writers spoke out about that. Will we see more stuff because this is so popular? Or is it just kind of like, it's an Elseworlds thing, and we'll see what happens from there? Got some TV picks, that and more on this live episode with myself and Roxy Stryer. All right, everybody, let's do it. Here we go. Welcome back, everybody. It is the Tuesday show, Kristian Harloff show here, with myself and Roxy Stryer. Hello, Roxy. Hi. How's the week going? Why is that? Oh, that's right. We did do Thursday. I can't wait to hear myself. Well, I know them already, but I can't wait for them to hear them. I have this next week will be, well, actually this week will be the only day for, I'm gonna have to pre-tape on Thursday. It looks like I'm not gonna be able to go live, but it's for, well, I was gonna say it's a good reason, but we are probably still gonna air the Clark Wolf portion, which I thought I was gonna do live, but it'll be a pre-taped episode because I have Drea De Matteo coming in the studio. She's coming in the studio, so we're gonna pre-tape. And when she was available, just happened to be when I record the show. So true, yeah, I know. And that Clips channel is doing good. And it's just hard for me to get to it. I have like my schedule is it's tough, especially with the movie reaction stuff. But did you see? Yeah, I don't know if you saw, but we debuted. You would be appreciative of this because of our time at Cloud Live when Sam called in. Sam made her debut. Yeah, she did Logan. Yeah, she did. She liked it a lot. What's so funny is I saw, and I posted yesterday, the reaction from the audience so far has been wonderful, right? And they all love her because she's great. But I posted last night, and I was like, yeah, she's going to be watching this to promote it. And there's people who are going, why would you have her start with Logan when she hasn't seen any X movies? What's a weird choice? And it's like, no, it's not, because we're doing Deadpool. She's not going to watch 27 X-Men movies leading up to Deadpool. Plus the fact that my whole experiment was to see if someone who had never seen this ever, had no idea, does it play to that person? To the person who's seen all the X-Men movies, it plays to them. Does it play to that person? Does the emotion, and because there's always that argument of, do you have to be so locked into it, or can you just watch it as a single movie? A lot of these things. And I was like, let's test that theory. And it worked. And it'll lead into Deadpool and Wolverine. And it was the whole reason I did it. And people who watched the actual reaction got that, but it was so annoying. I know, but I was just annoyed. Yeah. Yeah. Oh wait, so no audio for you? Oh, it's because we did this stupid thing. Hold on. No, hold on. Shoot. This is why I like to go a little early and prep.
Use.
Now you're back now. Your audio is working now. Go ahead and talk. They'll hear you now.
Okay.
Yeah, it should be, and I wonder now if you're going to be doubled up. Where I put you, yeah. So you're going to have an echo unless I do this, and then you should not have an echo anymore. In just a second. Oh, that was annoying. Say something, Rox.
Hi.
All right, you should have your audio back, and the audience will let me know. Okay, we got it. Sorry about that. All right. Anyway, so I was telling Roxy, we were talking about Sam, and she was saying she was excited to hear it. Then I was just talking about some other things. You were saying you were talking about Real Rejects and the X-Men movies.
Yeah, they just covered every single one of them, Tara and Andrew, and it took months. I mean, it's like a massive undertaking, and you're brand new starting to reactions. Like, this is out the gate. You are brand new to something on YouTube. So I think it's great. Like,
and I want to do the experiments.
seeing what works, what's fun.
Well, that's why I want to do the experiments of saying like, okay, here, this is, everybody traditionally, let's watch every single X-Men from the beginning, and then when you get to this, it's people like, oh, it's not going to have the same emotional impact. Wrong. It had an absolute major emotional. She cried twice during it. She was watching it. She didn't know anything about anything, and I wanted to say like, how does that play to someone who's never seen it? Plus the fact that I hadn't seen it in probably like 5 years. So
but even if it didn't have the same emotional impact, like there are people who do that. There are people who just start in a random movie.
Right.
So why not?
Exactly. So it was just,
it's such weird gatekeeper mentality. Like you have to watch something the way that I watch something. Otherwise you're watching it wrong.
Yeah. So why would you do that? It's like odd choice.
You hit play and you're watching it right.
It was annoying.
You hit play on the movie, you're watching it correct.
Exactly. It's like odd choice. No, not an odd choice. Actually, it's a perfect kind of calculated choice leading into Deadpool, Deadpool 2, and Deadpool 3, which I wanted to do. And it worked out. And I also said, I was like, don't you guys, like, I've been putting people on shows for at least 13 to 14 years. I've been putting people on shows and introducing people to people all the time. Don't you think I have an idea of like how I want to present people and how I want to introduce people to others to where I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure this is a good way to do it. I said to the person, I said, can you give me the trust? If you watch me long enough, I know how to actually debut somebody and put somebody on. Like the same reason I put Sadie on Trap, same reason I then put her on Agatha, same reason I put Tina on Long Legs and all that stuff too. It's like, I want to introduce people.
Yeah, but at least they've thoughts about choices you're making, which is always fun. Like,
of course.
If they've thought about choices you're making, it's so much better. Like that's all I want is people to have thoughts about the choices I make.
Right.
That's the goal. That's the dream, right? Like that's the okay thing for the audience. It might be annoying to you, but at least that's all it's about. The choices you're making.
100%. So I want to let everybody know that the reactions are on the channel. Logan's on there right now. We have a few, and we're going to be doing Deadpool, both 1, 2, and 3 with Sam. So those will be coming out. That's why I put this one out today. And then I got Agatha with Sadie. So the other one that I'm doing by myself.
So you're full blown going. You are like now partially going to be a reactor channel.
I think that we're going to do at least 2. I wouldn't just call myself. I think reacting channel means that it's going to be. It's because what Greg's able to do is just unfathomable. To where he's going to do like 1 or 2 of these a day. That I'm not going to do. But I will have things that it's stuff that I definitely want to see. And whether it's like Penguin, Agatha, stuff that I can spend a little extra time with my wife doing, we'll do that. Certain
like
movies,
once a week kind of thing, or what do you think?
I think twice a week is certainly going to be for the next couple of weeks because we're going to have both Deadpool, and then we'll probably try to do something else. And I want to make sure that Tina's in the mix. And there's something else that I really want to see. And it's like,
are you editing those, Kristian?
No, I have the same editors as Greg.
You're using Paper?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're doing those breakout boxes for you, those red square things. I think it looks so cute.
Thank you. Yeah,
I really like the design. It's different than because obviously now since I've been at Rejects, I've been watching a lot of reactor channels just to see what it looks like. Sure. I think that it looks really good. It's like unique to you. I like it a lot.
Well, Galaxy Geeks does it too. Luke, who's been kind of,
but not with the red.
He might do a different color. I'm not sure. He might do red, but either way, it was kind of. So he's been helping. He's essentially kind of been a producer on this channel, to be completely honest. And he's been doing. They were doing stuff, and I was like, I kind of really like that style. And like you said, I wanted it to stand out a little bit more.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I guess I've never seen Galaxy Geeks. I think I've seen them on social media. They have like a blue stars kind of something going on.
Yeah. So he does. That's what they do for. And he was like, yeah, you should do that. And I was like, okay. And they use paper also. So I was like, let's. So I told it was easier for them to know because I said the same style that they're doing it in. And Luke was cool with me doing it, and so we did it.
So cool. It looks awesome.
Yeah, and it works. And what I was always curious about is whether or not they're going to get the humor and the tone of it, and they do. They understand the humor of it, so it's great. But I'm doing Penguin by myself, and we watched episode 1, and then here's this big story that comes out today, and that's the fact that the Penguin is a big hit for HBO. HBO has announced that its Batman spinoff series, The Penguin, has been a hit for the premium cabler. The Colin Farrell, Kristen Milotti-led series reportedly opened to 5.3 million U.S. viewers across all platforms since its debut on September 19th. The number includes repeat airings on HBO as well as streaming viewership. To put that in perspective with other series, it's behind the 5.7 million viewers of True Detective Night Country, but ahead of the most recent season premieres of The Succession and The White Lotus. Additionally, the show has reportedly landed the biggest 4-day audience for a new series on Max in every region globally since the critically acclaimed PlayStation game to TV adaptation of The Last of Us, which debuted in January 2023. The launch also caused a surge in interest in the 2022 The Batman film, which saw a viewership uptick of 3.5 times as many viewers as it had in previous weeks. Lawrence LeFranc is the writer, executive producer, and showrunner of the Penguin series, which will air its second episode this Sunday. So that's to answer your previous question, what we were just talking about, my next movie that I'll be watching with Sadie is The Batman. We were supposed to do it this week, but because I have to get Sam in here and do other things, we couldn't do it. So we'll do that next week. The Penguin is awesome. I saw episode 1, really loved it. I will say, I actually agree with both you and Coy. I think that it is Breaking Bad meets The Sopranos.
Cool.
I really like what they're doing with it. I thought Kristen Milotti was
so good.
Oh, next level. She's so good. I liked her in Palm Springs, but I thought she was just so good in this. And Colin Farrell, obviously unrecognizable. I hope he gets some love for this show as far as awards and things go. But you weren't lying. It's a really solid show. I'm looking forward to the second episode.
Yeah, I think that it's just really, really exactly what DC needed right now.
Mm-hmm.
Conversation around this show has been excellent. Like I said, I only saw one bad review. It was IGN, and I don't know what they were talking about. Penguin fails to fly. What? I feel like it's sword. But then just kind of like didn't explain why. So good. Just really, really into this. I think Colin will get love. Just so you, all the casting directors listening to the show know, that role of Kristen Milotti's is that's a dream role for me. That is exactly the kind of stuff I want to be doing.
It was really, really, it's
so good.
It's a phenomenal role, and so far so good. You've seen 4 episodes?
No, I've only seen 2.
You've seen 2. Okay.
I had 3 episodes. I've only seen 2.
Okay. So I'm gonna the first you've seen
2 is excellent.
You've seen the first. Okay, so I'm gonna watch the second one pretty soon. But
it's so good. This show is so good.
Yeah.
I think that it's only going to get better from here because they've painted such a great world. It's like sometimes people blow their load on the pilot, but this didn't feel like it did that. It felt like it opened a lot of doors.
I thought so too. I thought it's a good way to establish the world. It was a good way to establish Gotham again. It was a good continuation of the movie. Not surprised in the slightest that the movie is getting an uptick also, because it feels like a complete continuation. Like you were like, oh, I want to see now, especially if you've seen it. I'm actually even more excited to rewatch the movie with Sadie. She's seen like 10 minutes of the Batman and Bale, but I want to rewatch it. And now even more so because of
not in the theater, right, Kristian? She didn't bail from the theater.
No. She would never. She hasn't been. I didn't even tell you last. Well, minus movies with the kids, but she doesn't go to the theater anymore. But she just couldn't concentrate on it, and that's a movie you got to concentrate on.
2 questions for you, a little related but not fully related. Number 1, Sopranos or Breaking Bad, gun to your head. What do you like better?
That's a tough one. I'd have to say The Sopranos, but I'm not arguing with anyone if they say it's a better series. They say Breaking Bad's a better series, but I would go with Sopranos.
Number 2, 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42.
Yeah. Anytime I'm going to the movies tonight, I have a screening tonight, and I'm going to wear this. Every time. Saturday night. Yeah. I'm excited.
Me too.
Yeah. Are you seeing it?
I am going to what I am referring to as the premiere, but I don't know because it already premiered at a festival.
Yeah.
So
Did your family hook you up?
No, you know what? They didn't, which is so funny. Yeah. I should have. Actually, I don't know. I got emailed about it.
Oh, okay. So maybe they did.
It was. I should text my aunt. Did you do this?
Yeah. Well, that's cool. So you're going.
But I'm very excited. But they said that the attire. What would you wear to this? The attire for this is SNL themed,
70s style,
and it says SNL themed with a hint of 70s.
Yeah, that's fun.
What would you wear?
I would pick an outfit that Gilda Radner wore. Wear something like that.
That would be so great, and I wish you were here.
Yeah, I would go with you. Who are you taking?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Steph?
Taking my manager.
Oh,
he wanted to see the movie.
Yeah, I'm excited.
It's kind of my MO now.
I'm
Steph
excited.
used to be my plus one for everything, but her and Harry like to watch movies together.
I get it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to see that, but I guarantee, like every time I go, at least one person stops me with this shirt.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm the one person right now.
Yes,
It's just so cool, and like talk about if you know, you know, and if you don't, you have no idea.
Yeah. Hey, do you like this lighting better? What I did today, for me?
It's always hard with the hat because you're shadowed.
Yeah, because I'm shadowed, but the actual.
But the lighting does look good.
Okay, good.
And I like, what is wrong with? I swear, I'm not a sweaty bitch.
Is that a new camera, or is it the?
Oh, I'm using this one because the other one keeps shutting off.
Yeah, we got problems.
But I can try it.
Well, let's go back to the Penguin. The Penguin is now a massive hit, and you look at what they did for the numbers themselves. This is huge for them. They needed this big hit, and it's also funny because we were talking about this on yesterday's show with Roka, which I should say, Rox, you want to hear what Roka's number is right now from yesterday?
All right, what is it?
Yeah,
Let me guess.
Yeah,
42.
73.
What?
Yeah. He's been Winston had the first week. Roka had last week with like 73, 74, and he started again with like yesterday. It was either 73 or 74. I have it, but
okay. I don't want to be dramatic or make excuses from jump, but Roka has been live streaming with you for over a year.
It's 7 months, but still, you make a valid point.
For 5 years.
Yes, you make a valid point.
He's been doing it with you for
27 years, way before you were on board. And he well, you're at 11 right now.
I am 26.
That's right. You're at 11 right now, so it's not a bad start.
I'm at 11.
Not a bad start. It's a good start.
No, 11 is, let's see, 11 is mid. 11's like,
no, it's
okay.
Good. No,
I see we're in the double digits, but also, and we're out of trash, but we're not into gold.
Yeah.
It's like, it's mid.
Fine. I was trying to be nice to you. It's mid. So there's something else with this.
Yeah,
do you think that because of James Gunn, this is what I was saying on the show yesterday with Roka, Roka said that the fact that they knew this was going to be a hit, and that's why, not surprisingly, Gunn and Safran's like, well, this is actually the first thing that the DCU is actually putting. We took notes, we gave notes, we did this, we were heavily involved, and it looks like he was. And what Roka said was, it looked like he was just trying to take credit because he knew it was going to be good, and they really had nothing to do with it. Do you think, though, because of I think there's some truth in that, because in the same way that I think that there's truth in that if The Flash would have delivered on box office, if Aquaman 2 would have hit $1 billion again, if Shazam 2 would have been a hit, they would have been in a dilemma because A, they probably would have taken some credit for it with the notes that they said they'd given, and B, they would have probably had to keep that in Elseworlds because people would have demanded more from it.
No, I don't feel this way.
Okay.
They could have cut the Batman, but they didn't.
Because they knew it was going to be a hit. That's my point. They knew the other ones
right,
were, yeah.
But I'm saying that's not, I don't find, and I've been reading everything they're saying, I don't find them to be overly taking credit for what the Penguin did. They still could have cut it, and they didn't. They should take credit for that. They knew it was good, and they didn't let it go by the wayside.
They would have been idiots to cut it.
Right. But I also think that there's a lot of other things. Like some people say that they're idiots to let go of Gal Gadot or idiots to let go of Henry Cavill, but they made those difficult decisions. Right. So I think if they didn't see the Batman verse as its own verse in the future succeeding, then they would have cut it, just like they didn't think that the Justice League currently was going to set up for the future. So no, I'm not sitting here like, oh yeah, they're just globbing on. And they did give notes, and they did make sure that we saw it, and they could have not. So I think that they're just doing their jobs as the heads of the studio and saying, this is something that we helped with, and we look forward to making decisions like this in the future.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with them, saying that. Like I think that, but I do think absolutely that they would have been in a dilemma if those other movies would have done well. And not that they're like, thank God. Of course, they wanted to make money for the studio too, but they could say, look, that was before our time. But because, and there both things could be valid in where they say like, oh, you know what? We know how good this movie and this TV show is going to be. And so we're furthering it along, and we want to help, and we want to, here's a couple things that we think that could help out the show, and we could do this. So they're not wrong that they did give because they knew that it would be kind of go on and continue to flourish, as where the other ones are like, well, let's just see what it does. Let's see how it does. We wash our hands of it if it doesn't do well, and we cross that bridge when we come to it if it does do well. And the instincts were right, because this show is doing really, really well. And I'm just curious. But the one thing that they did, and I thought that, and I might be wrong, but I think that it was their decision to scrap the Gotham show. And so listen to this story, which kind of ties into it. There is a winter. It says winter on scrapped Gotham. Do they mean writer? It says winter.
Ooh. G-Man makes a mistake.
I'm gonna guess this. We're gonna say writer on scrapped series, but if for some reason it has something to do with winter, or actually, before I go into this article, what do you think? It's writer or winter?
I'm guessing writer, but
okay.
I'm hoping winter.
No. It is winter. Winter, but it's not the winter we're thinking of. It's the winter on scrapped Gotham PD series. Terrence Winter, for God's sakes. Thank you. Good. Everybody's screaming at us. Well, rightfully so. Speaking of The Sopranos. For a brief while there back in 2020, The Sopranos writer, executive producer, and Boardwalk Empire creator showrunner Terrence Winter was attached to serve as showrunner on a TV series tied to Matt Reeves' The Batman film. The film was on hold mid-production at the time due to the first wave of the COVID pandemic. Nevertheless, HBO Max handed out straight to series order for the untitled series that was to focus on Gotham City Police Department a year before the events of the film. Specifics of the story were under wraps, some speculating that it would be based on the Gotham Central comic. Winter was attached for several months there before exiting the series in late 2020. Joe Barton took over showrunner duties, but the show was ultimately scrapped. Now, Winter has spoken with the Playlist Bingeworthy podcast to promote his second season of Tulsa King, which he produces, and discussed what his Gotham PD would have been like. To which he says, the idea was that we were going to do a 1970s cop show, something that felt like Sidney Lumet's Prince of the City, but in the Gotham City Police Department, it was going to have that 1970s feel. It was going to be a present-day cop who is like a third-generation Gotham City cop. You know, his grandfather, his dad, and, you know, Gotham City was largely corrupt. This is the guy we meet in the present who's realizing that he's kind of on the wrong side. The Batman was somebody that lived in that world, but you never really saw him. And it was really about the police department and sort of this guy. Winter said that ultimately the Batman writer-director Reeves opted to take the series in a different direction, which eventually resulted in the Penguin series, which just premiered. Talking about Gotham PD and how it fell apart, Winter said, I worked on it for a while, and ultimately, you know, Matt wasn't feeling it. And I left. And I know they brought in another guy after me. I can't remember his name, the guy who did Tokyo Vice. He worked on it for a while, but that didn't go anywhere. I have no idea what he did, and then I read about the Penguin. And, you know, that's great. Good for him. Like I said, you know, it was Matt's idea originally, and more power to him. Sometimes you're in sync creatively, and sometimes you're not. Or you get off on the wrong foot thinking, oh, we should do this, and go, oh, you know what? This is just not really working. Also, because there was Gotham, the show Gotham certainly took place in New York City in the Gotham City Police Department. Rather, I'd kind of stepped on the toes of our idea a little bit, even though ours was going to be totally very different. I think Penguin is great. I agree with you. I think they did a great job. I think this is, and I have to give huge apologies to not knowing, we were talking about Terrence Winter. I didn't know that he was involved in that series. It shows you why I love Terrence Winter. What a classy comment. What a classy comment.
Yeah, I think you did a good job with that too.
Great. Yeah. Go ahead, Rox.
Well, I just am thinking about the Gotham aspect of this, because did you ever check out any episode of the Gotham show, Kristian?
I think so. There was the kid from Orange County that was on that, right?
I don't know where he was from.
The OC, I meant. The OC.
Wait, what?
I thought the guy from Gotham was in the OC.
Oh, yes.
Yes, okay.
I thought you meant... Sorry, I thought you meant the boy who played Batman was from Orange County.
No.
Yes. The guy who played Ryan on the OC.
Yeah. I saw a couple. Yeah.
So this was like known amongst fans. People hated this show.
Yes. Oh yeah, because what's her face? Jada Smith was in it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pinkett.
Yeah.
But only for Fish Mooney. She was only for a couple seasons.
Okay.
I will tell you this. I was like a Gotham apologist, like a die-hard Gotham fan. I loved the show. I loved what they did with it. People were upset because it's Gotham before Batman. So it's all of the things that it would be with Batman, but there is no Batman. There's just little kid Bruce Wayne.
Right.
So people didn't like that.
Shows you
So
why you need Batman.
Well, but for me, I understood that was the premise of the show.
Right.
So
no, I meant it shows you as a viewer, like, because the Gotham is so crappy, why you need Batman. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like until we get our Batman, it's going to be a mess.
Right.
So, and it was a mess. The show was messy and weird, and it had so many unbelievable characters. It introduced a lot of different DC characters to live action because they hadn't ever been seen on screen before, other than in animated or in comic books, which wouldn't be on screen, but you know what I mean? It was so cool. And I've been clamoring for a Gotham show because I miss that show so much. I understand why this kind of steps on the toe, that would step on the toes of both what they're doing in the Batman movies and what they're doing in the Penguin TV show. But I was a little bummed about this because I was really excited.
Yeah, I understand that, but I think that even when you hear his comments, I think that everything that they tried to do in that series, you accomplish in the Penguin, and what you also accomplish in the Penguin is that you have a recognizable character that, because the challenge with that show about just doing a police show in Gotham takes away at least you have a Batman villain in this show, The Penguin. You got a Batman villain. And you always think right around the corner somewhere, Pattinson could show up, right? You always, even you don't necessarily need him. And if he doesn't show up, I think he'll show up eventually, whether it's in season 1 or season 2, he'll show up eventually. But the fact that he's out there, and the idea that he's out there, as opposed to just a cop show in Gotham, that's tough, because then you are relying on and having to build, which is part of the challenge, new characters that you're going to care about enough to say, oh, they're just cops in Gotham, and you have to build out the story there. So
I don't disagree with you. I love Gotham-centered shows. Yeah. And I love some of the B-C list characters that you get to explore when you don't have the pressure on your show to show, like, I'm obsessed with the Penguin, you know that, but on that show, we needed to show the Falcons. We needed to show Penguin. Like, we might maybe in season 2, 3, we start doing more deep cuts. But for this, it's like, you got to show the big dogs.
Yes.
And I love the smaller shows that show kind of like the underlings, the less known characters, the like seedier, more street level, kind of like what we love about Daredevil, or when those Netflix shows started, because it's not these huge people, it's the street level people, which Penguin is. He's just the biggest of them.
Yeah, sure. And I think that there's, look, the idea behind that is great, and I happen to agree with you. But in the business side of it, it's tougher to do because you got to put a budget behind it. And if you're going to do a smaller show or just like 4 episodes or something, you're like, okay. And if that universe was continuing, but it's not, it's an Elseworlds thing, and you really only have this trilogy of Batman movies, so you got to kind of pick and choose. So the idea that even Matt Reeves was like, no, this isn't working in the way that the idea that I had, and then being able to combine that now, it makes more sense when you hear it, because you can see the evolution from that Terrence Winter show into the Penguin show, and how that turns into what we got now. And like, it's like a happy accident, right? Because now we got this show, which is crushing for HBO, delivering on all levels. I saw someone say that they thought it was a snooze fest. I'm like, what the hell show are you watching?
Yeah, it's so weird. I also think it is a good business decision because we know that Robert Pattinson isn't our main Batman moving forward. Mm-hmm. We know that he is in whether they've already identified this as Elseworlds or what they're calling that Batverse. We know that that's not our main Batman. So it does open the opportunity in the future to have a Gotham or Batman spinoff show with what we ultimately end up doing with not the Batman, but with Batman.
Yeah. And do you think that Pattinson's going to show up this season?
Do I think Pattinson's going to show up on the Penguin?
Because there's been like conflicting reports from what I know. There was some reports that he was seen on set. There were some reports that he was going to be Bruce Wayne. Then there was some reports he was going to be the Batman. Then there was reports that he wasn't going to be in it at all. I wonder.
I kind of hope not.
At all?
Not for the whole show, but for season 1, I kind of hope not, because, and I think it's possible, and I would be obviously stoked to see him, but I don't think it needs it right now. And I think that if what happens is the finale has Batman appear, I don't want the conversation to switch to, is Batman going to be a main character in season 2? Because that's not the case, and that's not what we want. So I feel like a little glimpse of him might give too much hope.
Yeah, I mean, so I see people saying, well, they said no. They said no. That's the thing you got to say anyway. That's the smart thing to say, because if you say no, he's not in it, Pattinson's not in it, then if he doesn't show up, well, I told you he wasn't in it. But if he shows up and you were lying, people are like, oh, you dirty rats. But I'm not
people saying that, Kristian?
In my head. There's conversations going on in my head.
You should get that checked out.
Yeah, I know. Listen.
They said no.
That's right. They're just arguing in the back. Now you know the way my head works. Guys, listen. Make sure you comment like you've been doing in the live chat. Make sure you do it on the replay. We're on Apple Podcasts. We are on Spotify. Everywhere podcasts are found. Roxy currently stands at 16 questions, so you have basically until the end of our... Well, you can do it all the way until the end of the show, really, if you want to throw things in there.
16.
17 now, Rox. 17. So before we move on, I wanted to tell you guys real quick about our friends over at both, that's right, AG1 and Hims. I'll tell you about them right now. Here you go. Let's talk AG1. I love AG1. I had it this morning. I love it. It helps you build a healthy morning routine. 60 seconds to get your daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre and probiotics, adaptogens, more. And I've been drinking it forever. You can't be part of this show if you haven't heard me talking about AG1. I'm going to give you a couple of fast facts about AG1 and how it supports your gut health. It contains prebiotics, probiotics, and gut-supporting ingredients to support your digestion, reduce bloating, and keep you regular. In a research study, 80% of participants noticed less gas and bloating after 30 days of drinking AG1. For me, I've had a lot of changes since I started to. I sleep better, better gut health, my focus, stress, all of it. It's just great. AG1's powder form makes it easy for your body to digest and access the nutrient-dense ingredients in the formula. I mean, they've been around with us for so long because so many of you guys have been doing it also. You've been getting AG1, you've been checking it out, you've been changing your routines, and it's worked. So if you want to start and notice the difference for yourself, it's a great first step to invest in your health, and that's why they've been a proud partner of mine for so long. Try AG1 and get a free bottle of Vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 Travel Packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/bigthing. $48 value for free if you go to drinkag1.com/bigthing. Go ahead, check it out. Hims! Guys, when we leave the house, whether you got your phone, wallet, keys, how's your hair look? But if you're experiencing hair loss, you may not be so confident when you step outside your door. Now, you got to get confident again, and you got to restore your hair, and you do it with Hims. Because nobody wants to lose your hair. And for men, it's common. And now with Hims, the solution is simple. You try Hims Hair Loss Solutions, and you'll be joining hundreds of thousands of subscribers who got their flow back. Hims provides access to a range of hair loss treatments that work all the way from the comfort of your couch. They offer personalized chewable, orable, spray, and serum treatment options so you can find what works best for you. The process is simple and 100% online. Just answer a few questions, and a medical provider will determine if the treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your treatment is sent directly to your door. Hims has hundreds of thousands of trusted subscribers, so if you feel like you're losing a part of yourself with your hair loss, get Hims and get your confidence back. Start your free online visit today at hims.com/bigthing, HIMS.com/bigthing for your personalized hair loss treatment options. So that's hims.com/bigthing. Results vary based on studios of topical and oral mixodal. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Thank you to our friends over at AG1 and, of course, Hims. As I mentioned to you guys each and every day, if you want to help out the show, you're able to help out the show, and you want to get something wonderful for yourself, then go into the links in the description and try one of our sponsors. Roxy, there's a debate going on in the
What is it? Don't talk to me about Julia Roberts and Florence.
No, that's nothing to do with that. That's not. We know that debate was won a long time ago. The debate that is happening now is that whether or not there will be a season 2 of The Penguin.
Wow, I thought you didn't like to talk politics.
The Penguin? So The Penguin.
For The Penguin. It was a good joke. Just laugh at it and move on.
So The Penguin season 2, because of Colin Farrell's comments about the makeup, and when I was talking about that story when it happened, I said that's today. Let's see how the ratings are for the show, and let's see the critically acclaim and all that stuff, and then the truck full of money that dumps on Colin Farrell's lawn. There will be a season 2. I will bet anybody that wants to bet me there will be a season 2 of that show. What do you think?
There's this thing that happens. There's this thing that happens when something is successful. It's kind of like, when, and Kristian, you've been through this with your wife. I'm sure, like, after you have one baby, and you guys, for a second, it's like, I'm not doing that again.
100%.
And then you see how great the baby is, and like,
and you have time, you have time to marinate,
time to process and think about it, and everything turned out well with the baby, and you're like, we could do it again. We could have one more. I think that's kind of what happens. Like, if you do a show and it sucked like that to go into the prosthetics and the makeup for hours a day, and then it didn't do well, and people were saying you suck in it, whatever, then you're like, I'm never doing that again. But when people are like, it was worth it and it's amazing and we love it, then you're like, was it really that bad? I could do it.
Colin Farrell has it's so funny with that guy because he's got the movie star looks. He was pushed to be like the big, huge A-list movie star, and he's a big name for sure, but he never hit that kind of, that thing. He was a star. He was a star in a lot of different movies. He's one of my favorite actors. Every time he shows up in a movie, he elevates it. And I think that there's so many different movies that he was in that didn't do well or kind of was pushed to the side or whatever it might be. This is one of those.
Not putting you on the spot, but what movies of his did not do well? I'm trying to think of what.
Well, or even maybe he got pushed to the side for it, right? Like I remember a movie, the Saving Mr. Banks, which was I liked the movie.
Tom Hanks movie,
right? But I think Colin Farrell's the best part of that entire film. He wasn't looked upon in the Academy Awards that year. If you look at his overall. You look at his overall resume, I think that there's a ton of movies that you're like, oh, it just didn't hit the potential you thought it was going to hit, right? And he's beloved, there's no doubt about it. But this particular role where he just disappears into this makeup, he's fearless in what he does. I think that there's going to be those kind of accolades that for a long time that he's been like, okay, this is the whole package for everything. I think that's one of the reasons he's going to come back.
You ever talked to Coy about Colin Farrell?
He loves him.
Yes. Yeah, he's like obsessed with him. And about his transformation. He does a good job kind of like expressing where he was, where he is now. But I do think it is his time, both Coy and Colin Farrell's. But Colin Farrell's because this is a different kind of role for him. He really does disappear into it. And we've been hearing so many, I don't know who his publicists are, but they're doing a great job. Yeah. We're hearing a lot of beautiful things about Colin Farrell right now. Colin Farrell is a dad.
Yes.
He's a family man. Colin Farrell's transition from like previous life to now.
Yeah.
And I just think that people are he's on everybody's radar right now.
I had the opportunity to interview him when I was at Fandango. Couldn't have been a nicer guy.
That's great.
It was because there were people that came in that were fine, polite. Some people who were just kind of, and just like didn't want to be there, and you felt
they were what?
They felt you could feel that you felt
That's
that
what they said when they walked in
their mind. You could see it. Like there were certain people that I was like, oh, this is gonna be a fun person to talk to, and they didn't want to be there.
Can you give me one name?
No, but
off air.
Maybe off air, yeah, for sure. There's one particular person. I was thinking about this the other day. There's one particular person that I was like so excited to talk to him, and I was just it felt like the person just did not want to be there.
That's a tough feeling. It sometimes happens, and it's
tough.
And you feel like you have to win them over.
Yeah, and it was and you only have so much time. But Colin Farrell was not one of those people. Colin Farrell came in, and I actually said to him when he came in, I was like, I just want to let you know before we start talking that I loved your work in Saving Mr. Banks. I think you should have been nominated for that film. He was very appreciative of the comment. We talked for quite a bit, and I thought he was a great guy. But so I root for him. I root for him for sure. And I do think he'll do season 2. But anyway, let's move on because speaking of someone else that I love and another person someone I'll tell you who was both these people were great to interview. I love this is two of my favorite interviews that I've ever had. It was both Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan. When I went for Creed, and I've been a Ryan Coogler fan since Fruitvale Station, but then Creed and everything else too. He's just won me over as a filmmaker. I love his style. And once again, he's teaming up with Michael B. Jordan in this vampire movie. And they released this teaser today. And you watched the teaser, Rox?
I did, yeah.
Okay, great. So here is the story, and we'll talk about it.
6 a.m. I watched it. Woke up and watched it. 6 a.m.
Hell yeah. So you had already watched it before I asked you to.
Yeah, because I've been running social for Real Rejects, and they did a reaction to this.
So you don't want to get spoiled.
Greg was like, you need to make sure that you watch it first. So
okay.
6 a.m. I set my alarm and watched it.
Wow. Warner Bros. Pictures has premiered the first trailer for the filmmaker Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan's new feature, Sinners, opening next year. Trying to leave their troubled life behind, twin brothers, both played by Michael B. Jordan, return to their hometown to start again, only to discover that an even greater evil is waiting to welcome them back. The greater evil is vampires, though the trailer seems to evade this point, and I love that. Coogler writes and directs the film, which makes his and Jordan's latest collaboration following Black Panther, Creed, and Fruitvale Station. Co-starring as Oscar nominee Haley Steinfeld, Jack O'Connell, Wumi Mosaku, Jamie Lawson, Omar Benson Miller, and Dilroy Linda. The crew includes director of photography Autumn Durrell. This is the whole crew. You can see it right there. There's everybody. I'm trying to think. Coogler. Okay. You can see everybody's stats. Go to Dark Horizons for the whole list of the crew. But I loved this trailer. To have a fresh take, and I like that it was in the time period, and I absolutely love that you didn't see any vampires in the first trailer. You might get them in the second trailer, you might get them in the third, because you got to let people know what the actual movie is about, or more so. But you got enough of it of like, this is about these people coming together and something's going down, some kind of evil, and they got to band together and take it out. And Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan again, plus this, and I love seeing him go away from the Marvel thing right now. He'll probably go back, but I love seeing him go away from it, because in the same way that I want Matthew Vaughn to get the hell out of the Kingsman world, I wanted to see Ryan Coogler, who opened up strong with Fruitvale Station, followed it up with Creed, left Creed, do Black Panther, nailed it. Obviously wanted to do a second one, did what he could after the passing of Chadwick Boseman, and still did a pretty solid job for what he had, the time that he had, and what he had to do in the amount of time. And then he goes to this, and there's a reason why, because he's probably pretty passionate for it, and he's changing up the genres, he's doing stuff. So I'm psyched for this one. How'd you feel about this trailer?
Yeah, well, it was nice to see how many people were talking about this morning. Like there hasn't been a non-comic book or like crazy IP driven trailer that I feel like was as talked about on social as this in a minute. Everyone was talking about this today. I love the trailer. I didn't see one bad comment about the trailer. And I thought it looked good. I love them as a duo. I think that this is going to be a very challenging role for Michael B. Jordan that I'm really excited to watch. Or roles for him. It's going to be great to see what he can do here. And yeah, this is just, I'm stoked. Did you see the movie Abigail?
Yes, I liked it.
That was a lot of people's criticism in the trailer of Abigail.
It gave away everything, or showed too much. Yeah,
I think those are the same things, right?
100%.
Yeah. It both gave away everything, and it showed.
And it showed everything. Yeah, 100%.
Give away everything, or it showed too much. Yes. And so when I actually went to watch Abigail the other day, it was a bummer to know what I was about to see. And so I think that this trailer really played it smart. But like you, I don't think they're going to do that the entire time. I think that they're going to show us more next time.
Yeah, because they want to promote it to the mainstream audience.
I do think it'd be cool if they didn't, though.
I agree. There's what did I say? I saw a trailer. I showed a trailer to my wife or my daughter. I can't remember, the other day. And I was like, oh man, there's just so much. They just showed this entire movie. What the hell was it? I can't remember, but they do it all the time. They do it all the time in those trailers where they're just, it's like, oh, you didn't need to do that. There's so many, like certain movies, like, I understand if there's, like this movie though, I understand if they show vampires because they want people to know, because not everybody knows Ryan Coogler's name, who's not in a mainstream, mainstream people maybe who aren't paying attention to movies all the time in the movie news.
You think he's a B-list celebrity?
I don't think B-list is fair. No, because that would also mean that in circles he's B-list also. I think that when it comes, there's certain, for better or for worse, mainstream people who are just watching movies don't always remember the directors' names, and they don't always remember. They always say like, "Who directed?" Because even when I was saying to Sadie the other day, I said to Sadie when we were watching. Oh, it was that. You know what? I answered what it was, the trailer itself, and this new point. It was for Wolves, the George Clooney and Brad Pitt movie. We watched the trailer last night, and you see like the whole movie in there. But at the end of it,
I haven't seen the trailer.
Okay, but at the end of it. It says because we're watching The Old Man season 2, and it's what's his face, John Watts, and I said to Sadie, like, oh, it was the same guy who directed the pilot and created The Old Man. And she's like, oh, interesting, I didn't know that. And I said John Watts, and she went, she didn't know, she had no idea. So
yeah, but I do think Ryan Coogler is bigger than John Watts.
Yeah, I mean, but look, absolutely. Look, inside of the circle itself.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
totally.
yeah. Inside of like I mean, someone said he's an elite director. He's a 100% an elite director. There is no argument there. I'm just saying like
he's a what director?
Elite. He's an elite director.
Elite.
Yeah, he's and he hasn't missed. He hasn't missed because even though I didn't love Black Panther 2, give him. I mean, that is not a small task of everything that he needed to do. And what he did was masterful in how he was able to do it within the time that he did. And he lost his star, for God's sakes, So there was so much that he did to turn it around. I think he is he absolutely an elite director, and he's an
I
absolutely.
didn't know that John Watts did The Old Man either.
Oh, okay. And he's and Ryan Coogler is 100%.
I think I would have seen that in all the episodes I've watched.
Yeah.
So he created The Old Man.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he directed the first episode. I'm pretty sure he wrote it, and I thought he was co-creator. You can check that, but yeah, I think Ryan Coogler is no argument. He is absolutely an A-tier director. There's no doubt about that. He's top of the list in the top 5, and I'd say like you look at top 5, top 10 working right now for sure. I just don't know in the same way that when you say like what I will say is Jordan Peele, when you say a new Jordan Peele movie's coming out. Right, I think more of the mainstream audience goes, "Oh, a new Jordan Peele movie's in China," and that's also because he had the advantage. He was on television for a long time. He was a character that people knew. He's on a very popular show, and his
face is more recognizable.
Yeah, and that's
John Watts is the executive producer of The Old Man.
Okay,
I had no idea. Maybe I knew that at some point, but I did not know now.
Yeah, and he directed episode 1. I don't know if he directed anything in season 2, but episode 1 of season 1 he directed, and it was fantastic.
Very cool.
Anyway, so I'm so curious. I think I already know the answer to this to everybody. What do you think about this this trailer? I think people are going to be loving it. I think people are going to be excited to see it. It comes out, and I think March was a perfect time for this. So I'm very curious to hear everybody's thoughts. Put your comments in there. Tell us exactly what you think. I'm going to pull an audible real quick, Rox, and we're going to talk about a movie that I saw last night. And that is The Wild Robot.
Oh, people are saying this is amazing.
It's a really sweet movie. This movie, I saw it last night, did my out of the theater reaction. It is directed by Chris Sanders, Lupita Nyong'o, Pedro Pascal. And the movie, if you haven't seen the trailer, it's essentially this robot is kind of dumped into the wilderness and befriends a fox and a little goose who. The goose is, oh, that's my mom. And then they have the most unlikely of friendships. And it's a thing about motherhood. It's a thing about friendship. I thought the ending got a little, there's a lot going on at the end. And I thought when the movie's the best, it's really at the heart of what the story is. And I thought it's emotional. It's funny. And I think this movie, I said it in my out of the theater reaction, this will be the movie. If this movie wins the best animated picture, I won't be surprised.
Cool.
I won't be surprised. I like Transformers.
I'm excited to see this.
I like Transformers 1 better, but I can see that this will win over people over that movie.
Do you think that this is more likely to win, you're saying awards, or
Yes.
to win the hearts?
Maybe even both, because look, and I'm going to push back against Roca again. After basically yesterday, what I said about Transformers 1, because Beetlejuice beat it in the theater, and I said the biggest detriment to that movie, Transformers 1, was that horrible first trailer that they put out. That trailer made it seem like it was a kid's movie, and there were so many people who were just like, it's just not. This is nothing I want to see.
I didn't
It's too.
see the trailer and I didn't see the movie, so I can.
The people thought it was going to be goofy and that it was just going to be too silly and not the lure. So, and then I saw a whole bunch, and Roka pushed back on it. He didn't think that he thought there was because we've seen so many live action Transformers.
You and Roka seem to disagree about everything.
But it's a good but we do it. But that's why I love having him on Monday, because it's an example that you can have conversation with people, not always see eye to eye with each other, but still have points and hear each other out. And that's the whole reason. That's the whole reason I have him on Mondays too, because it's just it's a great conversation. But
I used to always love hosting with Roka. Yeah. I haven't done it in years, but I always did, because he has such strong opinions, but he's respectful. And he's great at what he does.
100%.
Kristian, can I talk about the movie that I saw?
Yes, but can I just finish up this point real quick?
For sure.
Because there was the whole thing is that so many people didn't want to see it because of the trailer, and I saw in the comments people started to say that, and then I asked my friend Fred last night, who randomly sent me a Transformers, like this toy thing from like 1986, and I said that's really great. I said, did you see the new movie? And he said, no, I saw the trailer and it's all wrong. It was too jokey. I'm out. I said, I knew it. That's exactly how I felt when I saw the trailer. I wanted nothing to do with the movie, and I was dreading seeing the screening. It's easily the best Transformers movie to come out since the 86 movie, if not better. To which he said, really? No shit. And why is the trailer basically the animated Clone Wars Sky Guy version? And he said he's going to, but I told him, I said, you got to go see it. So he's going to see it today. He's going to give me a break.
Then you have to let us know how he felt.
I will. But that trailer caused a lot of harm.
What did Fred send you?
He sent me this video of like these. It had the 1986 Transformers theme song from the movie, with all these I guess like figurines that somebody had put in. Like it was pretty great. What movie did you? Oh, I know a movie you saw.
Because I texted you.
You did. You told me, and I also heard Kristian Lemire also told me. People have been raving about this. I tried to get a screening for it. I missed it. But did you see this? You saw a screening of it?
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay.
I saw it. I just got myself a ticket and went to the movie theater.
Which is what?
Which is what?
Which movie is it?
The movie is My Old Ass. This is the Aubrey Plaza movie. It is produced by Lucky Chap, Margot Robbie's production company. And it's been running the festival circuit. And I don't know whether this is limited release right now or nationwide, but I'm lucky to live in LA, so I was able to see it. And it had come out, and I was going to go see Beetlejuice. Then I didn't even know that it was out yet. So I looked and it was available. And I was like, I've been dying to see this movie because so many of my friends and critics are saying that this is one of the best movies of the year. And I saw my friend Naz, who was saying number one, goes to every single festival, says this is the number one. And I was like, okay, let me just go check this out instead of Beetlejuice, which people say is okay. So I went to see it, and the theater was not that full. I don't know that people know about this movie yet. So I was like, I have to tell people, because I walked out and it was my number one favorite movie of the year so far.
Wow.
It's a comedy.
Yeah.
The premise is that it's a girl that turns 18 years old, and with her friend, she takes mushrooms, and it ends up making her trip to see the older version of herself, who then like is her spiritual guide through life.
Okay.
And it is very heartfelt. I cried multiple times in this comedy.
Okay.
It is about dealing with your life choices and not being where you thought you might be, and loss and love, and it's like a total coming of age, beautiful but hysterical movie. I was shocked that not more people are talking about this. I hope when everybody sees it, they are. It was like I'm not kidding, Kristian, it was kind of a perfect movie. People
love it. Yeah, I've heard some really good things about it, and I think this will be one of the ones where when the screeners come out towards the end, there'll probably be a heavier push on this for sure. But I am excited to see it, because I've heard some good things from not only rave reviews from you and Christy and some other people. First time it was so bizarre how it happens. You don't hear about a movie at all, and then it just kind of comes in like this big wave. I was at a theater in New York, and I looked up and I saw the trailer, or the poster for it rather, and I was like, oh, what the hell's that? And then I just kept hearing about it over and over and over. I mean, it's got a very memorable title, obviously.
Yeah, for sure. When I told Grammy, I was like, I'm going to go see My Old Ass. She said, is it about a donkey?
Perfect.
Like, okay.
Amazing.
Yes.
Yes.
It's about a donkey.
Well, listen to this. We have a lot of things that we've left some thoughts about, whether it is Mild Ass, whether it is the Wild Robot, other things we've discussed. Love to hear your thoughts on it. We got one more story for you, then we're going to start taking some questions. 24 in there right now, Rox. You got a little bit to catch Roca.
24.
24.
I love that show, Jack Bauer.
Yes.
But I'd rather be 33, Larry Bird.
That's right. Well, we'll see. But we have this, and then we have Roxy's TV picks. But let's get into this. We're talking about some friends of the show anyway. And that, of course, is Freddie Prinze Jr., friend of the show, good buddy of mine now. And he is now going to be in the I Know What You Did sequel. And he talked about this when we had him on with me and Brett. He mentioned, he said there was some kind of conversations going on with it. And he's officially joined the cast of the new I Know What You Did Last Summer at Sony Pictures. The Scooby-Doo actors were reprising the role of Ray Bronson from the original 1997 movie and 98 follow-up. His former co-stars Jennifer Love Hewitt remains very much in negotiations to reprise the role of Julie James. Prinze Jr. previously announced cast members Chase Sue Wonders, Madeline Klein, Sarah Pidgeon, Tyreek Withers, and Jonah Howard King. Story details for the new installment are unknown. Jennifer Caitlin Robinson is directing from a script by Sam Lansky and Caitlin Robinson and a draft by Leah McKendrick. The original followed four young friends bound by a tragic accident who are reunited when they did find themselves being stalked by a hook-wielding maniac in their small seaside town. I'm glad he's back. You know what I'm bummed about?
What?
They're going to kill him. They're going to kill him. They're going to kill him, and then probably, Jennifer Love Hewitt probably
reboot the whole, yeah.
Or Jennifer Love Hewitt will survive, and then maybe it's like, but they're going to bring in this whole new cast, and they'll end up killing Freddie, and that's. But what I'm glad that he's doing more stuff. I remember when we had him on Jedi Council back in the day, and he had retired from acting. He was done. He wouldn't do it anymore. He was writing for the WWE. He did other things, and then I guess he caught the bug again because he started doing some other stuff. I know he did the Punky Brewster remake, and then he did some other movies that he was working on, and working on some other things, but doing this, good for him. He's one of my favorite people in the world.
This is one of the biggest betrayals that you've ever had to me as a friend.
What'd I do? Not having you on when you were on? When he was on?
You've had him on like 80 times, and you know that I'm such a massive
You
fan
were not
of him.
available that day. I tried you. You were not available that day. I know
What
that.
are you talking about?
You weren't available that day. You were doing whenever we had him in that day. You were
You had him on 100 times, Kristian.
When Brett was on that day, you were Roxy, and we've had this conversation. If you are not booked in 4 months in advance, you can't be there.
That's not true. You asked me about doing this show on Tuesdays, and I made it work in a week. How far out did you book him? And you've had him on so many times, and I love him. But do you know, I don't know that I've ever seen I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Okay. You should.
Maybe I should watch those. But I loved him for a bajillion reasons, but She's All That was like one of my favorite things.
Okay.
And then when he was on 24,
Yes,
which was what you just referenced with 24.
he was on with Katie.
So cool.
Yeah, him and Katie were on the same season.
Did you watch 24?
Yeah, they did.
Every season?
Yeah, I think I watched all the way to the end. Yeah, I did.
Wow.
I loved that. I loved that. Well, it got silly towards the end of it, but I was into it for sure. So him going back is a good thing. They'll get Jennifer Love Hewitt back, but it's going to be pushed to get this cast, and I don't know if they can make it work without the original cast. In the same way that I guess they're going to do this, they're going to give it the Scream treatment. They're going to, in the same way that they found new younger cast members in Scream. They're probably. I don't
think I watched this. I really need to.
Yeah, you should see it. It's a classic horror film for sure. I always remember when that thing hit. My friend Garrett, he was like, "You got to see this movie. You got to." And I'm not a huge horror guy, slasher movies, but they were like, they couldn't shut the hell up about it. So
did you love the Final Destination movies?
Love them? No, not really. They were fine. Yeah, that's not my genre. It's not my genre. Like I can appreciate them, but it's just not my genre. Okay, let's get into some TV stuff, Rox, and then we'll get into the questions. Let's start with your TV picks, and here's the first one. What do you got?
Well, you gave me heat last week, rightfully so, for having not watched the first episode of The Old Man yet because I was behind on TV. But now I've watched the first 2 episodes. I've not seen the 3rd episode, but I do believe it's dropped. I am really interested in this season. I'm curious what's going to happen here. I feel like some of the scenes are a little more soap-like than the first season,
Mm-hmm.
which totally feeds into my wheelhouse. I love that. The essentially what I'm going to call baby mama drama.
Yes.
Really works for me.
Mm-hmm.
I love that stuff. But mostly, I love when it's the two guys going back and forth at each other. And it's just like, this is iconic to watch.
Yeah, they've been friends
just
for
as
years.
a fan
Especially,
of,
they've been friends for years. The characters have been friends or known each other for so long.
Exactly.
Plus the fact you have the two legends of Jeff
Yes.
Bridges and Lithgow. I'm so glad that Bridges is doing well these
Me
days.
too.
Yeah.
Just when they're talking back and forth, it's so fun though. When they're bickering, but then they have to be on the same team. It's just it's fun for us as viewers to watch. Are you liking the season?
So far, I mean, so there's another one you're going to talk about that has taken precedence over this for now until we're done. And then we're going to start, firing into this. But you got to really, really lock in to this show, especially with everything going on there's a lot going on. So we watched the first episode. How many episodes are there? 2 right now?
I think there's 3 out right now.
There's 3 out right now. Yeah, we've watched the first. Okay, so that's the, that's on, and you can catch that on Hulu.
Yeah, FX or Hulu.
All right, next one.
Oh gosh, Tulsa King is so good. Tulsa King season 2, Paramount Plus. I feel like it's worth getting Paramount Plus for. If you don't have it, it is. I love watching Stallone on this show. I'm really interested to see what he ends up doing. I want there to be a Tulsa King Penguin crossover because watching these two together would be truly
Hilarious.
amazing.
Yeah.
But it's really fun to watch him move.
Yeah. Okay. So that one I started it, the first episode, and then it's so hard to watch things in my house. I'm sitting there watching the episode, and I'm getting he's talking to some dude in prison, and all this stuff's happening, or jail rather, and all these things are happening. I'm like, I'm getting into it, and then someone comes in and wants to change the channel. Somebody else, my wife doesn't want to watch Tulsa and wants to watch something else, and it's just like, I'll get to it. And then when I do it, yeah, I'll get to it.
Oh, it must be so hard for you to be surrounded by people who love you and a family.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. All
It
right,
must be so hard.
yeah, okay. Whoop, that's it. That's not what I need. Here's the next one. Okay, so Tulsa King, that's on Paramount Plus.
No, I mean close, but no cigar. Golden Bachelorette is on with Joan right now.
Oh, whatever. Okay, so it's Golden
Christian,
Bachelorette.
Not only are you showing the wrong show, but he already broke up with the girl he ended up with.
Well, we same IP.
Yeah.
How about that? Same IP.
Just
Perfect. Is that better?
You P, IP. We all P for IP. Golden Bachelorette. There's some drama, honey, this season outside of the show. I'm loving it because I love Joan. I also watched Joan on Celebrity Family Feud this past week. She's an icon. She's so great. However, remember me telling you last week about Jen, the Bachelorette, and the guy with the restraining order that she picked?
Yes. I'm listening. Go ahead.
Why are we black?
Don't worry about it. Just keep going.
Okay. But you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
What just came out is that it happened again, Christian.
With what in the Golden Bachelorette?
On the Golden Bachelorette, one of the contestants, somebody just in June has a restraining order against them.
Oh my God. Who's prepping? Who's scouting these people?
I don't even know. It's so crazy. But she's not going to end up picking him, so it's fine.
Okay. All right. Well, then let's get away from this because I'm bored. All right. How about this?
Yeah, you can't be bored with that. That's lame. Only Murders in the Building. Really funny. Watched another episode last night. I watched this in real time because it is so easy and quick to watch. Plus, it's got the best. This is the most stacked cast of any show maybe ever. Like, this feels like it's on par with Curb Your Enthusiasm with the amount of guest stars that we get. It is so wild. And I love the three of their dynamic. We saw them at the Emmys, and that's like what they're like. It's so great.
Okay. And so the next one after that?
Penguin, we talked about this. This is my favorite show that I'm watching right now. I think this is the must-watch TV show of the fall so far, and can't wait to see more. Shockingly, this show is in people's good graces. I don't mean shockingly because it's not good. I mean because leading into this, everybody was like, why is the show being made? And then it was made, and people were like, oh, these first 2 episodes are bomb. And I think the first 2 episodes are really good. I didn't watch the second episode because at first I had heard mixed reviews, but then I watched it and thought that the second episode was even better than the first episode. So I love Agatha, and that song Down Down, everybody, it's on TikTok, it's trending, it's just people are liking the show way more than expected. And another shout out to our friend Ryan Nelson, who worked on this show, that I'm so happy for because it is doing well.
Good. Is it doing well in the ratings?
Yeah.
Good. Look, the dynamic is there, the chemistry is there, and like I said to you, and I stand by this too. There's a difference between when you don't know what your show is and you don't know who it's aimed for, and it goes, or you aim it towards one, you're aiming it towards a whole bunch of people, but it's clearly aimed at one side, then you have a possibility of it not doing well. When you know who your audience is, and that audience picks up on it, then you're going to be in good graces. And I think that's what happened with Agatha, right? Agatha it's Catherine Hahn, Aubrey Plaza. They're phenomenal. You go there for them, hoping they're going to be in a good show. It's a very well written show. There's good chemistry. It does. Someone said, and I think it's a perfect. They said like Charmed meets Desperate Housewives, or The Craft meets or Practical Magic meets Desperate Housewives. It has
obviously. That's why
100%.
Right. If you watch this, Kristian, you would call me and be like, "You'll like the show."
This is. They threw the dart right at you and right at Sadie. They threw them right at you and they hit you right in the head. The both of you. And it's absolutely, when Sadie was watching, she's like, "This show's for me." It's not for me. That's okay. I can still enjoy it. It's not intended for me, I should say.
Do you think that Catherine Hahn is just so ridiculously talented?
I not only think she's ridiculously talented, she's very sexy.
Yeah, she is. She's sexy and she's talented. And I do feel, not that Aubrey Plaza isn't amazing, but it's not her. She's not Catherine Hahn in the show.
Yes, Catherine Hahn's carrying it.
Took the entire IP, put it on her back, and was like, "Let's go."
Yes.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
And she's having fun. She's having fun.
And there's twists and turns, and it's witchy hour, and into it.
100%.
And I like that guy. I like the guy that found her. You know who I'm talking about?
Which one? The kid in it?
Yeah, the kid. I like him.
Yeah. And that's so I've only seen 2 episodes. So we'll see. We'll see how it pans out. But the cast itself and the writing, like I said, if you put together a show that's written well, and even if I can say, and people and if they get offended, I don't give a shit, to where it's like, I can say that it's not intended for me, or it's not aimed for me. I can say that because it's not. I'm not the target demographic for this show. It doesn't mean that I can't appreciate it, that it's good writing and that there's good chemistry. It's just, if I wasn't covering this show and if I wasn't watching with my wife, would this be the one that I'm going to go, "Oh, I need to see this"? Probably not. But I can also,
you would have caught up at Tulsa King.
Yes. But in the same way that there are certain shows that my wife or you would probably never watch, and I say, "Hey, watch," and you go, "That's a good show." I don't know if I would ever go out of my way to go see that if it wasn't for you telling me about it, but that's okay. As long as but I want to, the fact, what I do want to appreciate is going, look, this show, it knows what it wants to be. So far in 2 episodes, it could lose the mark.
2 episodes, right.
Yeah.
I don't know where it is going to go.
Yeah.
But so far, I'm in.
Yep. All right. So, and I think the final one here is this one.
Bad Monkey has been such a great, pleasant surprise. Not a surprise that because we should be thinking anything different, because of course we have Bill Lawrence, we've got Vince Vaughn. This obviously should be up my alley. But the first episode or 2, I was kind of like, am I going to be into this? And now I'm just so into this. It's a great tone for right now. It is obscure and funny. And Vince Vaughn is just so charismatic in this show. I love this one. I love this one. It's not doing what Shrinking does for me, because it doesn't have that kind of like
it's a different tone to
it. Right. But it is excellent.
I love it. This is the reason that we didn't finish Old Man, because we were watching this, and
it's so fun.
It's really, I like the combination. I like the tone. I think the voiceover works really well.
Me too. I love the voiceover. What a great choice.
The voiceover, and even how they do the previously on, which I think they even stopped doing it in the last 2 episodes. Which was it. Michelle Monaghan should also be commended in this, because she's playing a different character than she's played normally. I like what she's doing in there. Vince Vaughn, when Vince Vaughn can be Vince Vaughn and hit, That's when he's at his best. He's always
Yes.
kind of playing a version of himself in everything that he's in. But the question is, can he do it? Because when he does it and it works, it works. And Bill Lawrence knows how to utilize people in the same way that he did Jason Segel, and now he does for Vince Vaughn. I think it's creative. I think it's I think it's fun. Alex Moffat, who's in the show, plays the neighbor. He's in a Broadway play, and I'm supposed to go on Sunday to see it because he's going to be coming in. He's going to be on the show. I don't know if he's going to be in
So
studio.
cool. Do you know what the show is?
I don't know yet. I have it. I have to get sent to me. Yeah. So yeah.
Did you end up seeing? I think I might have asked you this, but did you see the movie Freaky?
You told me about it, and then Clark Wolf raved about it too. Said it was.
It would be a great watch along for you. That would be so fun.
Okay,
That's the only time I've ever seen Vince Vaughn kind of be a not Vince Vaughn.
Okay,
and I was like, oh, he has more range than I even realized.
Well, he was in. I mean, he's taken shots at this. He was in the remake of Psycho, which we won't talk about. He was in the other one that he did. There's a movie with Jennifer Lopez and Vincent D'Onofrio called The Cell. Have you ever seen that movie?
No, people love that.
I like it too. It's a freaky movie. He's in that, and I think he plays like Jennifer Lopez's boyfriend or something. He's like a cop or something along those lines. Maybe he doesn't play a boyfriend, but he's a cop.
Wait, is it what I'm thinking about? The Cell? Is it Cell Block 99? That's a different movie?
Yeah, different movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking of that.
Yeah, and he was also in True Detective. True Detective was the other one. He was in True Detective, which he played a different version of himself too. And he said Brawl and Cell Block 99 with Vince Vaughn. Same director as Bone Tomahawk.
So it is Cell Block 99.
Brawl and Cell Block 99. Yeah, that's the one you were thinking of.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, so good picks there by Roxy Stryer. Any of the stuff there that you guys, anything that you've been watching, not watching, want to watch, let us know. We want to.
But you know what pisses me off about the watch list?
What?
I'm gonna go. Because afterwards I go back and look at all the comments and whatever it is. And first of all, I don't know what happened, but people have been nitpicking the fuck out of me on this show, which is driving me up a wall.
Like what?
My hair annoys them. My voice annoys them. I'm needy. I'm annoying. Just so many comments, but it bothers me because they don't. I'm sorry. Oh. You guys can say whatever you want, but you do not nitpick the men the way you nitpick the women, and it just drives me nuts. Like nothing I could do. She's wearing too much makeup. She doesn't have enough makeup on.
Really? You gotta highlight these so I can erase them.
Oh my God, they're so annoying.
Oh, you go into the comments more.
But the majority of you guys are amazing. The vast majority of you guys are amazing. But every time when I go back and look at the live comments, it's like it is so.
Oh, the live comments. Okay, the live comments.
Because I'm obsessed with them.
Yes, so that's why I told you not to go in there.
No, I don't.
Yeah, but I'm saying even afterwards. Why
anyway,
do you go there? Okay.
Because I like to know, and sometimes people are constructive about things, but usually the people here, it's like the weirdest responses, like, oh my God, the way that she said that word, and it's like shut up.
Right, but let's talk about the people who love you. There's tons of them.
I love the people who love me, and there are way more of them. But one of the things that bothers me that people write about my picks, and they do this in the comments and the live chat, is they'll be like, Roxy only watches one type of show. I'm clearly not her target audience.
You watch everything.
It's like you're not listening to my picks.
You watch everything.
Roxy only watches trash reality TV.
What?
It is so strange. So strange.
You literally watch everything.
I started commenting back to people who would comment that on the show, and I was like, it feels like you're not listening to the words coming out of my mouth. Yeah. Because I really, especially for this show, that's why this week I was like, I need to watch Tulsa King and the Old Man. But yeah, of course, I'm going to still talk about Bachelorette or Big Brother or the other shows that I'm the Circle.
Variety, it's your job.
It's my job, but I really try on this show when I'm giving picks. I really try to diversify so that there's something for everyone, and so that I can explain the show and you guys can say that's for me or that isn't for me.
Right.
So
I like the variety.
It's so strange when people are like, she only likes one kind of show.
Well, to be fair, and I'm not telling that you're not telling the truth, and that there's probably a lot of those people that are doing that. I can tell you the majority of people that I see are very appreciative of your TV picks, and I'm one of them. So thank you.
Yay! You are right. It is the vast majority, and you have cultivated a really great audience over here. But it's like the things that were bothering you at the beginning, like that the mean kid. And it's like,
look, in the same way that I opened up the show.
life.
Look, in the same way that I opened the show, where I was, these people weren't necessarily mean, but saying, "Why are you doing Logan first?" And I said, and then there's tons of people that were saying, "So glad you're doing Logan with her, this and this." So we as human beings, we gravitate towards the negative. But you know what's not negative? PrizePicks.
What's my number?
PrizePicks. I'm telling you about PrizePicks, Roxy.
Tell me.
PrizePicks, if you don't know about it, you're going to know now. So I'm going to tell you about PrizePicks, and I've told you guys about PrizePicks, so listen up, because it is time to hear. PrizePicks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. It's got over 5 million active members. PrizePicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports, because unlike other apps on PrizePicks, it's all you against the numbers. All you do is you pick more or less 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. PrizePicks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. They put their member first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. So when my picks hit, I can get my money in, and you get it as quick 15 minutes. So there you go. It is the best. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use that code BIGTHING and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code BIGTHING on PrizePicks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks, run your game. Also, got to tell you guys about our friends over at The Perfect Gene. Now, I've mentioned The Perfect Gene. And Roxy, you said to me last time I saw you, I was looking svelte. One of the reasons is because I was wearing The Perfect Gene. Did you know that?
I didn't until now.
Well, there you go. Because there are nice fitting jeans. This is what I've been laughing about. This is what I've been telling people about. What you don't realize is there's probably over 700,000 pairs of nuts rescued from bad jeans. That's 2 per dude. The hero, and that is The Perfect Gene. You got to say goodbye to stiff cardboard denim and hello to comfort. They fit like they were custom made, and they stretch like you wouldn't believe, and it looks fantastic. I get compliments every time I wear them. For a limited time, our listeners get 15% off their first order plus free shipping at theperfectgene.nyc, or you just Google The Perfect Gene and use that code BIGTHING for 15% off. The other night, was wearing them. Sadie was like, "Hey, are those?" Well, I said this the other day, and I was going to put on these pants, and she goes, "Where are the other ones?" I go, "What, the Perfect Gene ones?" She's like, "Yeah." I said, "I'm going to say that on the air." She's like, "Yeah, wear those. I love those." And they've revolutionized T-shirts also, Rocks. It's not just jeans. The Perfect Tee has just enough stretch to hide that beer belly while accentuating your arms and your chest for that flawless look. It is soft as butter without shrinking in the wash like all your other tees. It's just perfect. So it's time. Once again, don't crush your balls in uncomfortable jeans. Go to theperfectgene.nyc. Our listeners get 15% off your first order, plus free shipping, free returns, free exchanges. You got to use that code BIGTHING at checkout. 15% off for new customers. Theperfectgene.nyc with promo code BIGTHING. But do me a favor. After you purchase, they're going to ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and let them know that we sent you. F your khakis. Get The Perfect Gene. All right, Rox, you wanted to know your number. You wanted to know.
Yeah, I do.
All right, what you want to guess what your number is? Want to see?
I like the part of The Perfect Gene that it's the baby's bottom. It says we are so soft. It has a picture of baby's bottom.
They really are soft, and I think I have them on right now.
That cracked me up.
I can't see. See, nice.
Oh yeah. Yep. Do the splits, Kristian. Do the splits.
No. So
what's my number? So we were at 24. I'm gonna guess 30.
36.
Oh, 36.
Yeah, 36. So you got
3, 6.
Now
9. Damn you fine.
Are you going to get to the 70? Are you going to get to 73 today? Probably not. But
no, but I could definitely get to. Let's see. What do I really? Tell me what you want. What you really, really want.
You tell me what you
want. Kristian, how old are you? 40 what?
Don't worry about it.
I'm trying to get them to send in the number, so just tell me.
41.
I think that's not right.
Are you doing ASMR right now?
I think you're not 40. But Kristian, let's get to Kristian's age. 41. Let's do it.
Yeah, because then you know what?
It's so weird because I was at your 40th birthday party.
Let's get to my dad's birthday. How about that?
Yeah, good.
80.
Let's get to Papo's birthday, 99.
Perfect. Look at that. All right, let's start with Shay. Shay Markel, After seeing the Sinners trailer, I'm thinking they should just hire Coogler to direct a certain film. Mahershala was cast in about 2 decades ago. I think that this is kind of his answer to that, isn't it? Because wasn't he like involved in Blade at one point, and then he decided he was going to do his own thing?
Sounds familiar, but I don't actually remember.
I feel like that's what happened. So he went out and did his own thing, and they're probably kicking themselves in the rear end that they didn't just get Ryan Coogler to do it in the first place. But he probably wanted, to do stuff with Michael B. Jordan because
wasn't Michael B. Jordan supposed to be Batman for a second?
Superman.
Superman. Yeah, Superman. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, next one is Chris Grainer. Have you ever heard of the movie Monster Summer? Mel Gibson that looks like a cross between Little Rascals and Stranger Things. Saw the trailer in front of Transformers 1. No, I don't.
Yeah, I have because it's with David Henry, which is Greg Alba's friend.
Oh, no. I didn't. I haven't. Did you see the trailer, Rox?
Yeah, I did because of work. Obviously,
right. But
how I feel.
Sure, but it
looks good.
The trailer looks good. Okay.
Yeah, it does look good, and I hear that David Henry's like a really lovely person. So
okay,
they've been best childhood friends.
Got it. Okay. Next one is Mike Joyce. Vince McMahon hated the new doc about him. Yeah, I'm sure. So much he tried to buy it back.
He loved it. Vince loved that doc.
I'm sure. He tried to buy it back from Netflix. Are you going to check it out? I am. I heard it was. Saul reached out to me and told me that it was pretty good. So I'm going to probably go and check that out.
Wait, I'm obsessed with imagine having so much money that you don't like a doc about you, so you try to buy it.
Isn't that hilarious?
I don't like you guys telling the truth about me. If I give you a ton of money, can I have it?
But that's his MO. That's his MO. That's what he's been doing. That's what he's been doing forever.
Saying. What's gotten you into trouble forever is literally what you're trying to do now. It's out there already, my dude.
Right. So moving stuff.
That's hysterical.
It's hilarious. Really hilarious. Okay. So that was. Thank you again for that. That one was. Oh, I missed one. And that's Mike Joyce again. Mike Joyce, who says WB partnered with an AI company today. More and more studios are partnering with AI companies. Is this a bad sign for the future? I mean, a bad sign, depending on what you think, right? Because it's going in the same way that I saw today. There was some car that is, I don't know what the car is, but AI is going to be driving cars in 10 and maybe less. And there's already
probably highly cut down on accidents.
Yeah, because there's this car that they have AI it was in a busy parking lot, and it maneuvering around to find its passenger or driver or whatever, and they put it in like a really tough spot to do, and it made it. So I mean, did you see the ad for like the new iPhone that has AI built into it as well and all this stuff too?
No, I did not. The 16?
Yeah. So all the stuff that it's just. I'm not telling you to accept it. I'm just telling you that it is what is coming.
There was that. Was it Gavin Newsom that just signed something about AI's usage in California about the industry? I know that they are attempting to push back on AI taking people's jobs in creative spaces.
Yeah.
Which obviously was a huge part of all the strikes and continues to be a part of the strikes as the casting directors now are negotiating. And every time we see new creatives up for negotiation, AI is a sticking point for everybody. So I am curious to see how this shakes out. But one of the things that I feel really passionate about is that AI should be used as a tool. It's not going anywhere. And I do think finding a way to incorporate AI will be really great, can be really great. But also, we don't want to put ourselves in a position where no creatives on the entire planet can have a job anymore because of AI. So we do have to find these protections and figure out what does work and what does not.
Well, my daughter said that the other day to me. It was like she's like, I want to be an artist. She's like, but I just feel like AI is going to take all those jobs. When I go,
how sad and scary is that?
It is, but I said, like, I do feel, maybe I'm just being an optimist, but I said I feel like the human experience and the human emotion, the human heart is always going to be a want and a need for people to where it's. I
agree.
So I think that it's always going to be there. And I think it's what a lot of these AI experts say, and it's like anything. And this is the problem. It's all about how it's used. If it's used in the right way, if you use it there's certain aspects to AI that are going to be revolutionary and benefit the human race 100%. The problem is, as a species, we are known to overdo stuff, be selfish,
Right.
do all these things that where it's more about greed than it is actually helping things, about self-perseverance more than anything else. And I think that that's ultimately what's going to happen with it.
Well, think about what happened with social media, Kristian.
100%. Yeah.
It's the exact same thing.
It's exactly what happened. So, it's a bummer, but who knows? Maybe the aliens will save us. All right. So Roman Fedorek.
Oh my God. You and I have not spoken about all of the UAP updates in a minute.
There's so much going on.
Holy crap. There's so much going on.
You hear the latest. We're covering on UAP Tuesday. That will be up today.
Yup.
So Pavel, who I don't know if you've necessarily had an opportunity to meet yet, but he was on a show and he had heard this report. That the report is that there's a thing that this telescope picked up that potentially could be here between 2027 2030, and it's headed towards the Earth, but it's not an organic thing. It's something that is shifting positions. So whatever the hell it is, and they said that Congress is being briefed about it. So whether you believe that or not, who knows? But that's what we're covering on today's show. We'll see. Roman Fedorek. Hey, Kristian and Roxy. Just wanted to say I really appreciate your live shows. Thank you, Roman. And you answering my questions. Thank you for sending them. Been getting me through my last semester of grad school. Thank you. Well, congratulations on grad school. It's awesome, and I really appreciate you.
Such a great thing. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, what an accomplishment. Keep going.
Yeah, he's really great. And he follows that up and he said, hey, your rewatch with Sadie got me thinking. What's a film that you love that she doesn't, that is hard to fathom, or vice versa? Oh, where does the list begin?
Give me the biggest one. Like, what comes up the most?
You know what movie? This is just movie that she hates. Like, she hates this movie. And anytime you bring, well, first I'll give you two. One that I love and one that I'll give her a pass on, even though it's a great movie. The one I'll give her a pass on is Moon. You know the movie Moon with Sam? What's his face? Worthington? Not Worthington. Not Worthington.
I haven't seen it. I know.
Shoot, you guys will say it in the comment section. Freaking! Oh my God, how am I not remembering Sam?
The guy from this show, right? The
one who looks like Matt Nost. I can't remember. Everyone's Anyway, God, he was just in Argyle, and I can't. It's such an easy Iron Man 2. I'm just not getting his name. This is why I would never be able to do Schmo.
Rockwell.
Thank you, Sam Rockwell.
That's not even who I thought you were talking about at first, but then you gave me other You gave me
he was in Moon, so she hates Moon. She hates that movie so much. I get her to watch it a long time ago. She hates it. Her and Josh McCouga hate it. The other one that she thinks is a snooze fest, and I can't. I want to leave the house every time she brings that is Oppenheimer. She hates Oppenheimer. Yeah, and so those are the two that and then the other one, like vice versa, not as much, because for me I like this. Is there anything that she really loves that I hate? I'm trying to think. Nothing that comes to mind. She likes Just Friends, but everybody likes that movie except me. I hate that movie.
You hate that movie?
Yeah, I haven't seen it since the first time I saw it years ago. I think it was such a turd of a movie where it's like he was a dickhead when he was being picked on and when he was fat, and then he was a dickhead when he was skinny, and he was a dickhead again. He's a dickhead the whole movie. He's never likable.
Huh.
Yeah. All right, next one. Darth Archie. What's up, Darth? Hey, Harloff and Roxy. Love you guys in the show. Thank you, Darth. The Penguin is friggin' awesome. It's the level of storytelling I was really hoping with Boba Fett. Yeah, I know. And there's some of the conversation that came up yesterday was that it's just so you can tell the craft. And that's why HBO is HBO, and they've always been. It's like, and I think Andor is the closest.
You got to be careful with that, though.
Why?
Because Max is diluting the brand like crazy in a lot of ways. But the HBO products are still unbelievable, and now people don't know what's the difference.
Right. I see what you're saying.
Do I have to remind the people of Gossip Girl, the reboot?
Right. You're not wrong to where you can associate in the same way, same but different, I guess, where Lord of the Rings, right? You bring up Lord of the Rings and you say, well, I don't want to see a new Lord of the Rings movie. That TV show is terrible. It's like it's Amazon Prime compared to whatever Peter Jackson and everybody else is doing. Okay, this is the next one. This is Spidey Sense 72. You're at 39, Rox.
Wait, who is Lord of the Rings? Obviously, Amazon Prime has the show, but who owns Lord of the Rings? What studio?
Well, I feel like for movies, and I mean, it's Warner Brothers and New Line, from what I'm aware of. But
so is Warner Brother? is Warner Brothers co-producing the Prime show, or they just bought the rights for?
I don't know. I think they might have just gotten it for, because they didn't adapt the books themselves. They kind of did their own thing. So I don't know how that works. I'm not sure. Huh. Okay. Spidey Sensei 72. Will HBO only focus on members of Batman Rogue Gallery or another ancillary character in Gotham like James Gordon? I don't think they're going to do anything more outside of this. We didn't really get into that, but I feel like James Gunn is going to let these guys play, let them do, because Matt Reeves is going to be tied up in those 3 movies, man. He's got. You're not going to get Batman 3 until like 2028, 2030 or whatever.
But how are we going to do 2 seasons of Penguin and not have James Gordon? So Penguin never gets in trouble? Right.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. You're going to bring him. You probably. I mean, that's a good point. You're going to see Jeffrey Wright or not? That's a good call. I don't know. I'm
like, if you don't have Commissioner Gordon, Jim Gordon there, right. What are you gonna? I mean, I guess maybe that wouldn't come until for years later, but I don't know.
No, because remember, this takes place right after the Batman. So
no, I mean, I guess she's not going to be in that level of trouble. Like, I guess on the show, we might see him never have issues with the law.
It's just inside the kind of crime syndicate. Maybe for season 1 anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, next one, and this is from Space Jesus. What's up, Space Jesus? Hello, Roxy. Tell what's going on with the Bachelor. Apparently, there is a contestant on Golden Bachelorette with a restraining order for stalking. I will question the vetting process. Yeah, everybody. See, so by the way, just to prove that there are people who are curious about this show, there's a $10 super chat that asks that.
Yeah, I just think it is so weird. And I was reading up on it this morning, and actually I was like, in case I talk about it on the show, I took some screenshots of things that are going on with Golden Bachelorette, because this is just absolutely batshit. It was revealed from an insider at ABC that they claimed that they did do background checks yet again, but he was given a restraining order for harassment and emotional. And then this says, despite telling him not to make contact, this is what the restraining order said. He came to my house. He made repeated unwanted contact with me, family members, and friends. And that he made 25 attempts daily via phone, text, video. He lives an hour away, but he would show up at places I frequent to confront me on a daily basis for 2 weeks. So she got a restraining order against this guy.
Wow.
And then they let him on the Bachelorette. And it's like, not only, and not that I don't feel bad for Jen, I feel horrible for Jen, but now we're talking about people in their 60s.
Yeah, like they're not. What? They're doing a terrible job. They're not going to be able to get away with that. But all right, next one.
And now they're cutting him out of the show. Apparently, now that they know this, they're going to really trim down on his edits, because
they don't want to you can't capitalize on that. You got it. Yeah, right. Yeah. Matt Sinister McCall. All right, rank my 5 favorite actors: Daniel Craig, Idris Elba, Jake Gyllenhaal, Stallone, and Christian Bale.
Jake Gyllenhaal is number 1 for me.
Wow. Okay, wait, hold on. Where is Brett, the best painter since Robert? Brett will be back. Brett wrote me and said he couldn't do today. He was going to try to do Wednesday, but I got Mike and Steph on Wednesday, and then he said, "Well, about Thursday," and then we're going to pre-tape on Thursday. So Brett will probably be back next week. 5 actors. Let's see. As far as how I like them, or how you got to
name them again, because I'm not looking at what you're looking at.
Yeah, so. I'll show you in a second here, but I'm trying I'm taking, because he didn't specify. So what I'm going to do is how I like them, not how I think they are as far as actors. Like if I prefer them, like in preference, like ranking my 5 favorite actors, like which movies
You're not ranking who you think is the most talented. You're just ranking your preference.
Yes, correct. Because there's no world where I'm going to rank
Stallone anywhere other than number 1.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, let's see.
Read them again.
You got Daniel Craig, Idris Elba, Jake Gyllenhaal, Stallone, and Christian Bale. So
I love so many of these.
Yeah, I think that I would go.
Craig is at the bottom.
Yeah, same. He's my 5 also, and I like him a lot. Okay, yeah, who's your 4?
Read them again.
You got Daniel Craig.
Can you just put them on screen for me, or no?
Yeah, I can do that. Okay. I can do that. Hold on,
Daniel Craig, Idris Elba. Elba, not Alba. This we know. Yes. Thank you, Odd Couple.
Oh my God!
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
Oh, who else?
I cannot. I know you can't. I know you can't.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Wow. This is really, really tough, because Idris Elba is like my all-time crush.
Okay.
But Stallone is Stallone to me, and Christian Bale. I think I say Jake Gyllenhaal to me is the best actor of this generation, so he's number one for me. Then I think I go Bale, Stallone, Idris Elba, Daniel Craig, but that's tough.
And I would say Craig hits the 5 spot for me. 4 is probably, and I like Idris Elba a lot. 4 is probably Idris Elba.
Okay, so we have the same 5 and 4.
Yeah, 3 is probably Gyllenhaal. 2 is probably Bale, and then 1 is probably Stallone. Yeah, of all time body work. But I mean, I'm talking.
So we just switched Stallone and
yeah.
Jake.
Yeah.
Other than that, everything's the same.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, let's see. So thank you for that one. That was a good one. Next one. This is from Renee Reyes. Good morning. What's up, Renee? Been trying to finish Shogun, but I can't get into it. Oh, bummer. Weird because I know it's a good show. I'm thinking it's the language and subtitles. Did either of you have trouble finishing the show? I didn't have trouble finishing it because of anything except it just was time-wise. I finished it. I finished the show, and once I locked into it, I was in. I think I finished like 6 episodes in like 5 days or something like that. Yeah, once I was locked in, I was locked in. It just took me a while to sit down. But no, I don't have a problem with subtitles. Some people do, and I thought it elevated the experience. That is because you were looking for my men and my boat. That's right, I was.
I usually do have an issue because I'm such a slow reader, but I didn't here.
Yeah.
It took me 1 episode, and then I was like, okay, Rox, you're locked in.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say this, no shame in not liking a show.
Yeah.
There's going to be great shows that are just not for you. And that is totally okay for a variety of different reasons. Like, not everybody has to like the same shows. To me, this is the number 1 show of the year. If you've given it a shot and it's not working for you, drop it. Like, it's not that big of a deal. And I know that as a society, people are like, you don't like this show? Word, it's just not working for you.
Yeah. I'll tell you what show I do like, and I can't wait. I know you're going to love this show. It is The Franchise. It comes out in October on HBO Max, and it's with
Nicole Kidman?
No, Billy Magnussen. It's got
oh yeah, you told me Billy Magnussen.
Yeah, it's got Daniel Bruhl. Oh my God, who's the dude from Yesterday? Main character in Yesterday. Oh my God. Anyway, so it's essentially, they're not saying this, but it's essentially Marvel. It's like the idea of
it's essentially what?
Marvel. It's like Veep meets Entourage, but like the working of the big superhero franchise and the things that go into it, like the behind the scenes of it, and it's
kind of like The Boys.
No. The Boys is more so like this is like seriously Veep meets Entourage. Just think of that, but on the set of a big budget superhero film, on these superhero movies that are in the downslope of the once golden era. It's really good. It's funny.
Cool. I'm excited for that. I forgot to put Slow Horses on my list. I'll talk about it next week.
All right. Here's the next one. I think this is Darth Archie again. Roxy, I was thinking the other day that you'd kill the Harley Quinn role in the DCU. Would you consider it? James Gunn needs to make it happen.
No, I wouldn't consider
Pass. Yeah, of course.
It's a pass.
She'd be great.
I think I would cut off at least 3 fingers.
Oh, that'd be an interesting Harley Quinn.
No, it's like that's all what I had to do.
Oh,
you know, like definitely both pinkies I would lose for that role, and probably 1 other finger. Like that's how much it would be unbelievable. I think one of the things that I do really well as an actress, and people comment this on the show all the time, is that I tend to have crazy eyes. Like my eyes get really big, and they are really big, like especially when I want them to be.
Yeah, when you want, especially when you're
the
not
whole white around my eyes, which not a lot of people can do. And I think that that's something I can really tap into is anger and rage and cutesy at the same time.
Yeah, so I've seen it.
I think Harley would be great, and that East Coast accent is fun as hell.
Yeah, I've seen that rage, so you can do it.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Roman, watched Beetlejuice for the first time the other night. Hilarious. Did not realize how funny Keaton was as that character. Oh, he's classic role.
I still want to see it. It's not that I didn't want to see it.
The first one? I think he's talking about the first one.
Oh.
Yeah, he's talking about the first one. But yeah, it's I absolutely love that movie. My daughter obsessed with it, rewatching it again. Roman follows it back up and says, your rewatch with Sadie was awesome. Reminded me of the podcast you did a couple of years ago with Corey Coleman and how you talked about she's like a mob boss and you're like the enforcer. Yeah, because he came over a few times with the old house, and he would, you remember, like, if you didn't know to come to that gate, you went to the front door and rang the bell, and there was one time she was doing something, and she scared he scared her, and it was hilarious. It was
boy.
and it was a very funny conversation on the show. Darth Archie follows us up and says, "Hey Harloff and Roxy, you got any college football teams?" Yeah, the Knowles, man, they stink to high heaven right now. Go Hogs.
You had a hard time with the word football, huh?
Yeah, I don't have these on.
Okay.
It's been a rough one.
Any college
FB teams. Go Hogs, Woo, Pig, and then something else.
I went to USC, but I really don't. And when I was there, I paid attention to football. I know Grammy and Papa love watching, and I know that we almost won and then we lost and people were pissed. What happened?
If someone asked me where you went to college,
you wouldn't have known that?
20 minutes ago, I wouldn't have known that.
You didn't know I went to USC?
I did not.
Can I tell you something about that?
Yeah.
And you went to FSU.
Yeah,
so
because you never talk, but you never talk about it.
Ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
You never
on
talk
purpose.
Yeah. Okay, well, you had a horrible time?
No. I had so much fun in college.
I had no idea you went there.
I think it's called the University of Spoiled Children for a reason.
Oh.
And I have like qualms with the school.
Okay.
Because I think, I graduated as early as I could. I got out of there. And I feel really grateful. The program was amazing, but like I auditioned into the school.
I don't think we've ever spoken about this. I don't think we've ever talked about it.
So somebody said, where'd Roxy go to college?
I would have no idea. I would have thought you went somewhere in Boston. I always thought that you went to school in Boston and then met Kevin on the plane, but it would make sense now. You're probably coming back and forth from college and met him on the plane.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. I was 18 on my way out here and met him on the plane.
Never had that conversation ever that you went to USC. Ever. That's why I didn't know. Never.
That is wild.
Crazy.
Yeah, I could tell you so many things about that. But
nuts. Okay.
I don't
there you
know
go.
that we have time for it. But I just have issues. Like I auditioned into the school. I went to 3 years of high school. So everybody like was shocked that I got in there because USC is academically a pretty good school. Yeah. But nothing for all the people who call me morons on the show. I had a 4.1 GPA.
What was your major?
I was an acting major. I auditioned in.
So did you? So wait a minute. So what year did you? This is hilarious. So you've known each other for a long. And so what year did you start going there?
I started in 2009.
I was right when Sadie's dad retired.
Oh.
He was a professor in the theater program for 40 years. Anyway,
that is crazy. Yeah,
that's crazy. Okay, so this is now a new one here, and this is from Luke TG1 TTV. Howdy, Kristian and Roxy. And I've been a fan since the 2014 predictions for the Star Wars The Force Awakens. You deserve every success. Thank you so much, Luke. Roxy, congrats on your new film. Very sweet comment, that is. How nice.
Thank you so much. Check out Crust if it's in a theater near you. Otherwise, I think it's November 12th that it will be available for all.
How was the premiere? Was the premiere good?
Yeah, premiere was really fun. It was like packed. So many people came out, which was awesome. They did a Q&A afterwards. Good. I had a blast. And then afterwards we went to the after party, and I have to tell you, Kristian, I hustled some people on the pool table.
Hell yeah, good for you. I thought you were going to say you hustled some people to come on the show, but whatever.
Anybody you want.
Okay. Loving the live shows, man. Roxy, have you been watching the Walking Dead character spinoff shows?
I don't know what's wrong with me, because you guys know I watch every episode of that show. I was the only person when we were at Skybound where I was like, don't worry, I got you guys. But
haven't been checking it out, but they said I unabashedly love that show from start to finish.
Well, the weird part is that now they're doing the book of Carol.
Yeah.
And like I love Norman Reedus, and I love the two of their dynamic. I think I would love this. I didn't even watch the Andrew Lincoln spinoff. I don't know what is wrong with me. Makuga still texts me about all of them and is like, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? Because we were the only two watched, and I'm behind. I got to.
There's just too much. Oh, speaking of Makuga, I think because I just did a show with him.
I saw that you guys worst club ever, and I was like,
yeah. And so we did a really, it was a nice conversation. He's and then we talked afterwards, and he's gonna come on. So I was thinking that we should probably get him on a Tuesday to where you guys, because we can do two.
Yeah, that'd be great. I haven't
TV.
Been with him for so long.
Yeah. So we'll have him on. We'll have him on a Tuesday. I think that'll be a good one, so you guys can catch up, and we'll do like.
How's he doing? Obviously, like shit, I'm sure, but
yeah, he's not doing great, but he's doing what he can, and so I was happy. If you guys haven't checked out the show that I did with Josh on Makuga's show, go over there and show him some support. And of course, Ellis is going through it too right now with Molly. So
I saw that Makuga was is using the YouTube to try to help finance and support his brother's kids, which I think is just so beautiful.
Yeah, so I'm trying.
Yeah, I saw about Ellis
Molly.
too,
Yeah, I
man.
know it's-
Or Molly.
Yeah,
God,
Molly.
that was a tough one. 17 years.
I know she was older, so it was kind of.
It still sucks.
I know those dogs, they just age overnight. Robert Terry, I'm a millennial, and I feel like my generation and onward just aren't as funny as Gen X and older. Hey, man, thanks for respect. It's true. Modern comedy shows aren't.
You think we're not as funny as them? Wait till you see Gen Z.
It's also true. Modern comedy shows aren't as funny because they don't have trained comedic actors anymore. Do you feel the same? Yes, but that's because I'm biased. Because I have this conversation, my daughter gets so pissed off with my wife, and I say, like, generation, we turn into those old people, like, your generation. And first of all, the conversations they have, like, because Gen Z, it's like what did I see? I saw somebody, I can't remember the movie, what it was. It was like another 80s movie that, again, was problematic or something like that. And I'm like, cut it out. Like, what the hell movie was it? I can't remember what it was. And my daughter's like, what are you blaming me for? I didn't write this. I haven't even seen that movie. But it was American Pie. That's what it was. They had a problem. Someone had a problem with American Pie now, and someone had a problem with the Goonies, and somebody had a problem with Pretty Woman, and somebody had a problem. It's like, shut up. Well, they're just complaining about every movie. It's like, leave it alone. But yes, I feel like people don't have a good sense of humor anymore. How do you feel, Roxy?
I feel mixed about that, but I think that, like, my age, I always judge it based on shows, not movies, because that's how I came up. And I do think that, like, the age of The Office, 30 Rock, Parks and Rec, to me, was peak comedy on television time. Loved that. Right now, the only thing that holds a candle to that is Abbott Elementary, in terms of, like, laugh out loud funny. But it's just more slim pickings for sure.
Okay.
With comedic actors.
True.
But yeah, things are cyclical, though. Yeah. Doesn't mean it doesn't come back.
Patty Boy comes in and says, what are your favorite performances in 2024? Mine are Tom Hardy in The Bike Riders, Austin Butler in Dune 2, Zendaya in Challengers. She was great in that. Yeah. Willa Fitzgerald in Strange Darling. So I'd have to go through, because at the top of my head, I'm sure at the top of my head, I'm going to go, I don't know. I got to think about what it is and which ones. I do like that Austin Butler pick. It's pretty damn good. I'd have to go through the movies that I loved again and said, oh yeah, that person. So I don't know. And I haven't seen the Demi Moore performance yet in that movie that everyone's raving about. There's tons yet. So I can't really answer that one yet because
just favorite performances.
These are his favorite performances so far in 2024.
I think that, just FYI for everybody, I tried to get on Letterboxd this week because it's just going to help me organize. I'm having a really hard time navigating the app. Yeah. I really don't get it. But I started making a list of movies that I've seen this year, which does help me with certain things. And so off of that, Anya Taylor-Joy as Furiosa, I think that was
a good one.
Absolutely killer as well. So good. And Avantika in the Mean Girls musical, I thought
which one was she?
She is the one who plays Karen.
I thought that was Karen. Okay, yeah, she was. I did not like the. Wait, Karen was the one, the dumb one.
Yes.
I thought she was the worst one.
Oh, that's crazy. I thought that was like the standout performance of the year.
Wow,
I thought she was so brilliant. And now I've started following her work. I thought Sydney Sweeney in Immaculate was
not in Madame Web.
No.
Oh.
I really didn't like her in Madame Web.
She didn't fit.
But I thought she was amazing in Immaculate, and the main guy in My Old Ass. I thought I heard it.
Oh my God, you can't do that while I'm drinking. That was good. That's real good. This dating app's going pretty well, huh? Who is the main guy in your Where's Fred? Where's Fred?
I can't even talk.
No, you shouldn't. The main guy in My Old Ass. That's a great
He was
bark.
really good.
I'm sure he was.
I had never seen him before.
but he was good in my old ass, I'll tell you that.
I'm sorry.
All right.
It took me a whole second because you spit out your water and I was like, you choke? And then I replayed.
Oh my God. That was really good. That was really good. All right, so we got to try to go through because you only have so much time. We have all these questions. So
and we just used up 10 minutes on my own. And the guy,
they did that on purpose, I'm sure, though, too. That they knew that this was going to be. They knew this. They knew that by saying this, you're going to keep doing this thing. All right, let's see. I got to get. We have quite a few questions here, Rox. So we have 45 questions. We got to try to get through. Because when do I lose you here? Because we have a lot of questions.
At noon.
Okay, we have 5 minutes.
Yeah, go.
Get going. I'm trying. So, okay. Wow, we have a bunch. I don't know if we're going to be able to get to all of them. I'm going to have to do it whether you're here or you're not.
Start reading them.
Here we go. All right, Patty Boy. You should have the BO boys on here. They're great. I don't know them. Do you know them?
No idea, but they have BO.
Oh, yeah. Pete Parker. I saw T1 last night, and it was great. It'll be a crime if we don't get a new franchise from this. I hope word of mouth will help. But Transformers 1 was so good. I really hope that they do. They really need to. I hope more people see it. Yeah.
He's mean to me in the comments.
Who is?
Pete Park.
Really?
Sometimes. Oh, yeah, okay. Keep going.
All right. Chris Casson. Hey, Kristian and Roxy. Keep up the great work that you do. Thank you so much, Chris. What excites you the most in film and TV for 2025? Also, thoughts on the New York Jets this season? Well, I mean, they had a good game the other day. I'm more of a Giants guy myself.
Did they? Against who?
That's right. That's right. So I think that look, any New York team I root for, I'm more a Giants guy myself. As far as what excites me, I'm excited to see what happens with Superman. I want to see where that goes. Roxy, you got anything in there? 2025?
In terms of the Jets?
No, 2025 movie.
Oh. Yeah, same as you.
Superman? Okay.
Yeah.
Dylan Neal. Yesterday, Roka didn't seem to like Lord of the Rings War for Rohan. Well, he didn't think it will do well in the West with the Japanese anime style. He might have a point. What do you think, Roxy?
I have no idea. Are they big into Lord of the Rings? I have no idea.
Well, so there's a new anime movie coming out that Warner Brothers released for the Lords of Rohirrim or whatever. So it's an anime movie that's coming out in Lord of the Rings style, and Peter Jackson is producing it. And I think that it could do fairly well, but Roka doesn't think it'll do well.
I really don't know. Don't know. Maybe.
Derek Johnson says, I'm just throwing in some support. Thank you, Derek Johnson.
Thank you.
Derek's always doing that. Yeah. Chris throws in one, says, Kristian, let's pretend that Lucasfilm has their crap together and new leadership. Which comic book or novel would you want them to adapt? Also, Roxy, which DC project excites you the most in James Gunn's DCU? We'll start with that for you, and I'll give you my answer on that one.
Oh, man, I really don't know, but Superman is the one that I'm really looking forward to seeing because it will set the tone for a lot.
Take James Luceno's novel of Darth Plagueis, turn it into a 6-part Disney Plus series, and then rewrite, and then do a Knights of the Old Republic series in as far as movies go. Give it a trilogy. That's what I'd like to see. I think that would be great. Okay, as we are moving down the line, JMB. I totally get Roxy's feelings about getting a street level look at the more anonymous villains, heroes of a story. You guys are always great. Thank you.
Yeah, oh, thank you.
I think that'll be the street level stuff is what I'm hoping more and more for in Marvel also. So, Patty Boy, Roxy needs more screening invites. She's the best. Have you been getting?
I really do. I deserve them. Why can't I go see Joker?
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm going to see that next week. Pete Parker, 2288. You got the touch. I love that Boogie Nights scene. Yes, it is. And it's funny that they used that from that movie, which was always gets a fist bump for me. Joyous Romer. Hey, Roxy, may the force be with you.
Always.
That's nice. Steve Catino. Now, I always say this poor guy's name wrong. Catanillo. Hey, Roxy, what's up, Kristian? Any movie releases current that you recommend? Already saw Substance and Transformers 1. Good luck, big fan. Then I would say Wild Robot. If you like animated, I would say Wild Robot. Yeah.
My old.
Yeah, perfect. Again. And you should see the guy that's in
my old house.
There you go. Mike Joyce. And Roxy, not that old. Roxy should check out The Substance. I'd be interested in an actress's take on it. Have you any interest in seeing that one? Everyone's loving this movie, The Substance.
Yeah, I would love to see this. It seems like it's a must-see.
Yeah. Galaxy Geeks. Speaking of Galaxy Geeks. Roxy, what lessons have you learned being in charge of the Real Rejects social? And is it ever difficult? It's a good question.
Yeah, it's really hard. I love it, though. But it is so time-consuming. I have learned that I need to wear some kind of like back brace because this is me at all times. And also, I'm trying to learn what works and what doesn't work for people. People seem to love behind-the-scenes stuff, and they like less polished stuff, which is difficult for me because I'm a polisher.
All right. Is there any world where I can keep you for 10 minutes?
No.
All right. So I get you for another.
I have to be at Real Rejects in 1 hour. And they're in the valley.
All right. Well, then, Renee Reyes. Kristian, you need to get Freddie Prinze JR on the show. Don't invite Roxy, though. Just kidding. Roxy. Well, you were fine.
I'm still crying over what happened.
It was
You
really
have me
good.
for 2 more minutes. Utilize them well.
Just say goodbye when you have to go, because I told everybody, I promised everybody that I'm going to finish them until the end. So,
Makes sense.
yeah. Joe Frisboy. Roxy, sorry about your Trojans losing to my Cheaters. That's so funny. I didn't know that. And welcome to the Big Ten, Black. Kristian, why the MSU Spartans had sometimes long ago? Because I was given that as a gift. I was given that as there was a fan that watched the show, and his dad worked there, and they sent Mark and I tons of stuff. And I like the shirts and I like the hats, and I thought it was a very kind gift, so I still wear it from time to time.
Oh, let me get my makeup, and I'll sit here and do it.
Perfect.
Okay, BRB.
Okay. So I'll save that one. Can you still hear me, Roxy, or no? Yeah. All right, Roxy, he says, stop reading the comments. None of these people know you like that. Kristian's right. Don't go in there. That's from Derek Johnson.
Oh, my God.
Perfect.
I like to.
Yeah, well, see, she needs to. This is a good behind-the-scenes thing. Who knows what she's doing with her old ass? Let's get to the next one here while we wait for Roxy. Interstellar.
I can still hear you, though. I just want you to know.
Just kidding. Interstellar, 10 years old. Wild. Top 5 Nolan films. For me, I think it's going to be hard for me to say the top 5. I would probably put Inception as my number 1. I love Inception. I'd probably put Dark Knight. I have to, does Oppenheimer make 3? Memento, I don't know. I'll just give you those top 2. Roxy, look at that. Can you tell me what's, do you have a
TDK trilogy.
Do you have a top 5?
TDK trilogy.
Okay.
Prestige.
Okay.
What did you ask me? Nolan movies?
Yeah, top 5 Nolan movies.
Maybe Memento.
That's a good one too. I just watched that again recently on the.
I don't know. There's so many good ones.
Yeah. Okay. Will you guys be watching the Mr. McMahon on Netflix? I'm interested in how this documentary will be portrayed. I am going to watch it. Just a matter of when I get it. Are you going to check it out, Roxy?
I don't know. If you tell me it's good, then yes.
Okay.
So probably that.
All right. Wicked Art. The great Wicked Art. Roxy, I have a show for you that I've been suggesting for 2 years, and I truly think that it is for you, and you will love it. It's The Mayor of Kingstown on Paramount Plus. Would love to hear your thoughts on it with Jeremy Renner.
It's so weird that I haven't watched it, but I just haven't, and now it's 3 seasons, and it's like I gotta really step up my game. But I will at some point. But next on my list of the long-running shows is the show Industry.
Okay.
Anybody wants to be on the same page as me?
Just watched, this is Ewok, so just watched Silo on Apple TV, and I loved it. With that plus Dark Matter, Severance, For All Mankind, Apple's killing it with their sci-fi content. Please let them take over Lucasfilm. I'm telling you. I would love.
You said that, Kristian, but there's just no shot.
No chance. There's no chance. They'd have to sell all the stuff from the theme parks and all that stuff. There's no chance. I'm just telling you that I think that it would be the best thing for everybody.
Right, I hear you.
But you still have to fire everybody in the executive level. Gator McCluskey, what's your favorite Burt Reynolds film? Was it Smokey and the Bandit? Oh, no, Boogie Nights. I'd say Boogie Nights.
Probably me too, but I would have to look at all of his movies.
Yeah.
In order to say.
Yeah. Ryan S. Roxy, what do you think of And Just Like That? Do you know when the next season comes out?
I actually can't believe how much I love that show. And I know people started to get on board on season 2. Yeah. And I am with them. I thought season 2 was better than season 1. It is just such a bummer that Kim Cattrall and Sarah Jessica Parker can't just do the show together. No, I know, yeah. And I completely understand why. But if they could, the show would be excellent. But Samantha's my favorite character on the show. And the fact that she was only there for one episode, a tiny amount of time, it's like, that's a big bummer, you know?
Daynapper, Sadie's reactions are so honest. Her favorite part of Trap was being that the home was so nice looking. Keep it up. We will for sure. Yeah, she did love that.
Should I watch that movie?
It's okay. It's fine.
Oh,
I could see you wind up liking it though. It was. I mean, it's kind of, the end of it is so silly though. Mike Joyce, Friends trivia show was just announced. Are you excited for it?
Yeah, I saw that. I'm wondering if it's going to be, and I didn't read the press release. I just saw a notification about it. Is it going to be the show that they did on the whiteboard? Is that like how the rules are going to go? Or are they going to kind of mix it with that other game that they invented as well? Like Mayhem? What is the trivia show going to be? I think for a 30-year reunion, they had to do something, but this isn't like what I was clamoring for, but of course I'll watch.
Scott Cross, Mark Riley also went to USC, and I know this from Claire Live. Did you talk to Riley about that?
Yeah.
Okay. Figured a lot. A lot?
Yeah, a decent amount. I mean, like Kristian, there's a reason you know that about Mark and not me, though. I really don't talk about it.
Don't. Yeah, he talks about it all the time.
I really don't talk about it.
Yeah, I've never seen you wear USC stuff.
Yeah, I also feel like it's just like such a weird, I don't know, maybe other people don't look at it as such a brag, but to me it's just like, I'm not trying to like,
it's fine.
I mentioned it in a meeting the other day and this woman said to me, she was like, oh, I didn't go to a fancy school like yours. And I was like, oh, trust me, it's way for the better. Like, you don't need to have gone to a fancy school.
Miguel Zion, thoughts on the news that Kyle Chandler will be playing Hal Jordan Lantern series? Great casting. Now Jon Stewart casting is happening. Yeah, I talked about this yesterday on the show with John. I think it's a great call. He's a great actor.
I think yes, totally. I would be super curious to hear whenever you ask Mike Kalinowski about it.
Oh yeah, very curious about that.
He has really strong opinions.
Yeah, I'm very curious. Derek Johnson, anybody being mean to Roxy and others who come here and give them their time to entertain you, don't be a degenerate. Be mindful of your own. Thank you so much, Derek. Derek's one of the biggest supporters.
No, the majority of you guys are effing amazing, truly.
Yeah.
But the ones who aren't, you're gonna get called out because that's how I do.
Steve, Ken and Neo. I was gone for 5 minutes and you both become more beautiful, handsome. So here's $2. Thank you so much.
Svelte.
So nice. And that was it, Rox. We did it. We finished it.
Wow. Okay.
47. You finished with 47. I think that well, no, last week I think you were in the 50s or 60s. So you did pretty good.
I told you we'd hit your age.
You damn it. So we did good. We did good. And thank you. As you're doing your makeup and looking like you're in France, where can they find you?
What's the France part?
Well, it kind of looks like a beret, a little bit.
Yes, I'm very chic French right now. Yeah. Everywhere at Roxy Stryer. Don't forget to check out the World Girls Wednesday nights. Tomorrow night we're posting our Horror Nights episode, which is always fun because Steph gets scared shitless. Totally fine. Totally great. Totally wonderful. We got a out of the theater reaction coming from me for Saturday night. We have the Logan reaction that's up on the channel right now. Tons of stuff coming out. I got the Agatha stuff coming out with Sadie. I got Mike and Steph back here tomorrow. So much on the channel. So make sure you subscribe, show a little class if you haven't done that already. Thank you to Roxy. We'll see you guys real soon. Peace out. Later.